Guys, welcome back. All right. So we got some semifinal action for you guys.
So I guess we should just sit. So it's cool.
Isn't this cooler though? Isn't this nicer? A bit more chill.
Yeah, I guess so. It just Strifeco looks kind of like a little puppet, not an actual.
I can just make him look better. There we go.
All right, good. Welcome back, everybody, to the ATLC Championship Sunday. It's time to find out who's going to go to the finals to play against Cloud9 and challenge Strifeco, Colento, and Ecot for the crown.
That's right.
Being Season 1 champions and winning $150,000. I'm joined by Crip. I'm joined by Strifeco. How's it going, Colin?
Good.
So you're gonna be sizing up the competition now, I guess?
Sizing up competition, getting like a better view from the caster's desk.
Yeah, kind of analyze it.
It's because there's some room to sit down here, right? In
yeah.
the lobby with all the plebeians. It's
Whoa!
Strifeco, right?
Yeah.
Dang, I had no idea.
Well, it is gonna be Value Town versus Nihilum, the rematch.
Mm-hmm.
You have a favorite here? Is there a team you guys would
I guess
would more like to see against
Nihilum win?
Nihilum?
Just because I guess we haven't played them yet, and yeah, it's nice to be able to beat everyone.
Yeah, it's not like you avoided anybody. You just kind of.
I think that would be at this point. It would be like very majestic to beat everybody. You know, like very clean victory.
Right. But for Nihilum to be in the finals, they would be basically playing the fourth game in a row today.
Oh yeah, and that
should be
good for us.
Yeah, that should be great for you guys.
You have like all information. They might as well just give you their deck list.
And in fact, I feel like I have them already.
All right, well, we'll look forward to see what they have. I mean, Value Town does have a pretty good streak going on for them. You know, they got stumbled against Cloud9, but they've looked pretty decent against other teams. I mean, the previous years versus Nihilum went Value Town's way.
Yeah. They're a very strong team. So before I came here, we thought that they were like the second scariest team. So yeah.
My main thoughts with Value Town is that Dog has to have the heavy burden of the patron warrior that he really hasn't played as much as some of the other players, and they usually leave him last, so the pressure was on him. And yesterday, things didn't really go his way. He got some horrific draws with some of his decks, and I thought that might weigh him down a bit. But today, it's been going okay for his team and Dog himself.
Yeah, and he's bringing the Rogue. That's the cool first appearance of the Rogue, and I think Rogue's very underrated right now. But we'll talk more about that when we get to that bridge. In the meantime, Kibler is going to start things off with Hunter up against Life Coach's Handlock. Now, this is the advantage that Value Town has. It's a Demon Handlock.
Demon Handlock.
Demon Lock is still different.
Right, it's Zooey. Right.
Yeah.
You know, it has like
Demon Handlock. That's right.
A lot of demon approaches like Bane of Doom and Implosion.
Yeah, I guess the difference is when you have Molten Giants, you kind of count yourself as a Handlock.
Even Mountain Giants as well.
Yeah, I guess it's kind of an artificial kind of definition, but it's what people go by. So
artificial.
Yeah,
it's as real as it gets.
Why?
Because you have demons, but you still play Handlock.
You still play Handlock style.
Though? Like,
give me the cards.
Yeah, you life tap and you keep your hand size as big as possible. Except you just instead of removal and like a lot of mid-sized minions.
But there's like Malagos Warlock, which also likes to keep their hands.
It's got like the Imp Gang bosses and stuff, and more early game abusive.
And it's also a lot of dragons now too, so it's more of dragon demon block.
The one thing, seeing some of Life Coach games, I didn't quite get to see all of them, so maybe I'm wrong about this, but I didn't see the third demon besides the Void Callers. There was Mal'Ganis, Jiraxxus, the two Void Callers.
I saw a Doomguard.
Oh, there was a Doomguard?
Oh,
okay.
So I'm guessing that's the
And we had a conversation about that. You mentioned how you like the fearsome Doomguard.
I like fearsome Doomguards
instead of Doomguard.
They're cool.
I don't like it.
Well, sorry, Frodan.
Do not agree.
Here. There's must be news to you, but you don't have to like it.
Uh-oh.
You can stay over there and let me be a pleb.
Okay.
All right. Well, Hunter versus the Handlock here. Has this changed a lot since TGT came out? In your opinion, Strifeco?
I actually don't think so. This is like a matchup where I feel like there's not really new cards. The Hunter, as long as this kind of Hunter, at least not something like Lock and Load, and the Handlock has gone probably like the least amount of changes as far as like any of the TGT.
I think both of these decks literally have zero new cards.
Even, so I guess
zero new cards.
Yes.
How do you know? Kibler might put a bear trap in it.
Yeah.
No.
Maybe.
He's not Gara.
Yeah. Well, one thing is I saw Kibler had a flare in his Hunter, which is going to hurt in this matchup a little bit, since I'm guessing it was a counter to Freeze Mage and Secret Paladin.
I'm hoping that sees some play.
Yeah.
I had a Kazan Mystic yesterday, and it triggered against a warrior.
This matchup.
What
He
happened?
played a Nexus champion.
God. Well, hopefully that doesn't happen. I guess in this scenario, it's kind of weird stuff.
Yeah.
But the whole impetus is on the hunter to set up a way to kill the handlock without, provoking the wrath of molten giants before it can answer it.
Yeah, or having enough burn at the end to finish it off. It's very important for Hunter to have a high damage opening like this, something like Abusive and Knife Juggler, getting in a lot of early damage, just because if you're playing a very weak opening, they can life tap easily and start playing very greedy 4-drops, whereas if you play a lot of early minions, it's hard for them to really go for that. Life Coach still managed to kind of tap his way to turn 4. Usually you don't see Handlock able to play Mountain Giant in this matchup on turn 4.
No, they're considered dead cards. But you know what isn't a dead card? A Fearsome Doom card. If you play the Void Caller and you had the Fearsome Doom Guard come out...
Well, it would be instead of the Doom Guard, so you wouldn't have it
They can't even BGH it. They can't even BGH it.
They can definitely freeze trap it, though.
They could.
Yeah. Or ignore it.
But you wait for the Defender of Argus to get it.
Okay.
Or the Sunfury.
All right. But then if you Defender of Argus, you can BGH.
So you wait for the Sunfury protection.
Oh, you sold me.
Yeah,
I'm sold.
There it is. Just never Defender of Argus.
All right. The other thing that I think the Hunter really requires in this matchup is a finisher card. Even though you might have a very aggressive opener, if you don't have a kill command or a quick shot in the later stages of the game, you just can't go for that push to play around Moltens.
Yeah.
Sometimes even both. The Handlock's really good at flirting with death all the time because of the 2 heal bots are still standard.
Mm-hmm.
You have so many defensive options. And Life Coach, when you play the Mountain Giant, you're accepting double damage. You're expecting the fact that this probably won't end up being traded in. Your Hunter
This will be painful.
I was just gonna say, I think last turn Kibler should have coined out the Abusive because he is already playing around Hellfire by having the 2/4 up, and you kind of really want to hit the breakpoint because, if he played one more minion last turn with the Abusive, it's very likely that this play that Life Coach did wouldn't really work out for him. Even though this doesn't really work out completely for Life Coach, it's still reasonable to just leave up the board and play 8/8 here. Whereas if he played one more Abusive last turn, I feel like it would pretty much be too much damage to play minion into the board.
Yeah, let's see. 5, 8, 10.
You have to do something here. Do you go into Moltens or do you wait? I think you can wait a bit.
There's almost no way this is going to be a wait. The problem is if you want to wait in this matchup, you have to be able to make sure that the turn that you do finally decide to bring him into Molten range is going to be better than this turn. And I feel like the longer you wait at this point, the worse it's going to get for you, since you don't have things like High Main.
Huh.
Well, he chose to wait.
And he goes for the Freezing Trap instead. I mean, it kind of makes it that these Freezing Traps need to sort of find a way to be played. Otherwise, cards like Quick Shot won't even really have its impact. But that's also kind of unfortunate that he drew 2 of his Freezing Traps when his Mad Science is in hand.
The way that Kibler chose to circumvent the problem was by playing the Freezing Trap. Because Freezing Trap allows the option of not bringing Life Coach down to 10. So it might be that the turn he brings him down to 10, it'll look better. This is very, very risky against...
It also looks terrifying if you're Life Coach. You see that, you're like, oh, okay, so I have to not die next turn. So Life Coach, instead of making an aggressive play, is going to make a defensive play.
Yeah.
Well, here he wants to taunt up the Mountain Giant, and he needs an extra card to be able to play both of them without tapping. I think that's the idea, at least.
That's the key.
He can also Dark Bomb the Juggler, but that seems a little optimistic.
I mean, it's still gaining you a big amount of health by doing that. The 5 health will be chipped away from the Giant anyways. Maybe even more. 1 Juggle plus Abuse Sword can get through this Giant.
He almost does enough damage to go through, and if there's... Oh!
Whoa!
That's a lot of
damage
synergy.
Dogs.
That's a lot of synergy on
3
this
damage
hound.
dogs.
Yeah.
Even though there's only 2 dogs, there's...
Some of them are Wolf Riders.
Those are really good dogs.
Summon 2 Wolf Riders for 3 mana?
Yeah.
Man,
Yes, please.
it's almost like those deserve to get crackled each.
5, 8, 14, 20, 22, and your opponent has 21 effective health?
I think you have to...
quickly.
On the giant, they see that. It's really close. Yeah, I mean, life coach has ways to kill himself.
Yeah.
4 times over. I mean, this hasn't hit the heal bot, right?
Okay.
Oh, the heal
That one.
And then kill the jungler, play Molten Heal bot.
The heal bot, or you can choose and it's a little bit weird way because you're not taking the 6 damage from the minions and then you heal next turn. Whereas if you heal this turn, you're still taking the 6 damage from the minions. Then you're coming up a little late, but it's more risky to some things. I feel like you have to go for the high risk play.
Yeah, because you are really behind.
Mm-hmm.
So, just any bit of damage from Kibler.
Silence, damage, even a juggle might do it.
Mm-hmm. A lot of outs.
Oh, that I didn't even see what that was, but I guess it was good enough.
Insta-call. Kibler continues his streak. He's been doing very well.
Just can't lose.
He just won't lose.
Has he lost
He's lost once.
in the
Turn 3
finals?
boom. Turn 3 boom.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Man, Kibler sucks.
Yeah.
Can't even beat a turn 3 Doctor
He
Boom.
didn't play around it. That's what it is.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to expect
He
that.
needed to play Mana Wraith. So then you can't innervate twice and play Doctor Boom.
Oh, okay. Well, now we know.
Strifegro's IQ is dropping by the minute
Yeah.
here. So just bear with us, Strife. You only have to
I feel
go
like it's a
through.
bad omen before the match.
Wow. All right. Well, we'll step up the level. Okay.
Okay.
We're not going to troll as much.
Okay.
So going to game 2 here. I don't know if that was like such a big win. Percentage.
And I know Handlock was struggling before the finals, and we see it struggling with Life Coach behind it. I mean, Life Coach is a pretty good pilot for the deck, I've heard. And yeah, it's just not really working out. Handlock's one of those, or Handlock-ish decks, like Demon Handlock, is one of those decks that usually just stays alive enough and then suddenly takes back the game and wins. It just seems like you don't really get to that stage as frequently as you used to before TGT.
I always feel like Handlock, and this is just a theory, Strifer, you can correct me, but I always feel like Handlock has to wait for the meta to completely settle before it starts becoming good a lot of times, because there's so many things that are variable and changing that you're not exactly sure. Like, Paladin lists are so... They float so much now. Like, are they playing 1-2 silvers, or they're like, are they playing divine favors, are they scaling to mid-range?
Mhm.
And because of all this dynamics, like, it's really hard to play around everything perfectly. And versus Handlock, you always have to be making sure that you're playing around the right amount of cards and percentages and probability.
But doesn't that make Handlock always a good deck in tournaments where you know what you're playing against? Which he is now.
As time goes on. I think as time goes on, like, Handlock gets better after each content release. But that's just my theory.
Yeah.
We nailed it.
I was gonna say, control decks in general, they have. It's better when the meta settles down, since when you're playing a reactive control deck, it benefits you a lot to know the cards your opponents are playing. So with all the variation in Paladin, in everything right now, since there's like a new expansion, so the deck lists in general aren't very settled yet. So it's hard to play a control deck like that.
Do you have an opinion on the fact that Value Time didn't even bring Paladin at all? Because I was under the impression it was one of the best decks considered in the current meta. And the fact is, they're not even bringing the class whatsoever.
That's interesting. I didn't notice until now, but I thought almost for sure that everyone was going to bring Paladin. They had Paladin in the first round before, so they switched it for Rogue.
Yeah.
I'm also finding a bit surprising that with Paladin being so popular, Patron Warrior always being played, Hunter always being played, why we see so few Harrisons.
That's true. I feel like Harrison's been rotated out of the meta too for a lot of classes. I mean, Druid still plays it. I think Dog was playing it in his Druid, but Trump's
unsuccessfully though.
That's true. I mean, Trump did bring Druid this time.
In this format, with 6 classes, it's not as easy to bring tech cards like Harrison Jones.
Right.
You know, when there's like 3 classes and you're expecting someone to bring a class that's more to Harrison Jones, or even like 2 or 3, then it's very easy. But with 6, it's like any tech card. since you never get to like snipe any matchup in Conquest, it's more like random. You're very likely just not going to be able to run into the matchup that the Harrison is good. So,
and then that's when Eloise brings Blingtron because no one's playing the Harrison.
It's gonna be Kibler on Priest, RDU on Paladin. Should be pretty fun. It's just going to be a total brawl on the board.
Yeah, it's going to be the Priest trying to stop the aggression of the Paladin. But one thing that Priest, we saw from Gara, for example, just like if it doesn't get those early game draws, it's almost laughably one-sided. Like Priest is still back to her old ways of, I don't have a 2-drop. I don't have anything to buff with Valence Chosen. I guess I lose.
The Dragon Priest is very much like tempo based right now, more than the Control Priest before. So if you actually do fall behind, you don't have as many comeback mechanics as the old Priest.
It's
and
true.
Artie's Paladin's very, very quick. So
we saw Gara run double Holy Nova, but do you know if Kibler's running double Holy Nova in the one in the finals here?
I think there's always 2 Holy Novas, but then I don't think Kibler has probably no Chill Maul, probably no Light Bomb.
He had the Light Bomb in yesterday's version.
Okay,
no, it was in yesterday's version. Did he show it in today's?
No, I mean today he hasn't played.
Okay.
Oh, he hasn't played in with his new deck yet because he had to resubmit between the first match and the second.
Yeah,
that's right.
There's a resubmission for him. So
he could have anything.
Technically, we're not sure.
Yeah.
If this is even a Dragon Priest, but
Pyromancer
Dragon
Priest.
Master.
Dragon Master.
Pretty unlikely.
I mean, what if he just whips out Zetalot's Prophet Valen Priest? That'd be pretty awesome.
Pretty awesome.
I think there is some chance that you'd actually bring like old control Pyro Priest. I think that's just a good deck against junk minions, which literally every deck is playing right now.
Yeah, and that's one of the big comeback mechanics of Priest, the Pyromancer, and that's one of the most noticeable omissions in the new Dragon Priest. So
yeah, I personally like how Dragon Priest is taking direction. It just fits like a different style of Priest versus like Control Priest would always be stuck passing a lot and like, okay, now do I circle? No. Now do I circle? Yeah, that kind of thing. It's just like it becomes this weird tense thing, and of course, Priest sometimes doesn't have it, so it's really inconsistent.
Right. Yeah, Priest has always been a bit of an inconsistent class. Even with Dragon Priest doing very well and Lido doing very well, just to stop the aggression. We saw some hands in this tournament even where just nothing really gets going.
A double Kibler strike. He's going game number 2, and he could easily lock his best record in ATLC history if he just wins here, and then Valley Towns continues to move on.
Valley Town, they're doing a strat where they just like throw out Kibler and start us off with 2-0.
And then let Dog clean up for better or for worse.
Also, RDU is playing actually a buff-heavy Paladin. Like, he's got the Blessing of Mights and the Kings. If Kibler sticks on the board early on, he might do exactly the opposite of what we talked about. Instead of the Paladin denying the creature on the Priest denying the creature on the Paladin.
Yeah, definitely a big thing. So, like, both of the decks have a lot of buffs, even with Villain's Chosen.
Yeah, they're both just going to snowball.
I feel like the early battle is so important here. Whoever wins the early battle. Because if you, say, get a Creeper and then a Blessing of Kings on the Creeper, and you just, like, trade, super efficiently... Yeah.
I actually think that's a really good hand from RDU. He's got the redemption for the Creeper with double Blessing of Kings. That basically means there's going to be a turn 3 Blessing of Kings, and there's going to be a turn 4 Blessing of Kings. There's, like, how do you escape that?
I didn't think about it that way.
Yeah, that's interesting because the redemption turn 1, your Creeper can't even be killed.
Right.
Yeah.
So
it spawns more 1/1, so even if it does get killed, there's 4 targets where you can use it.
There is a death, but with 2 Kings, and there's like another Creeper that gets Blessing
Exactly.
Kings. So we'll have to see. Wow,
I like
1/7 Cleric.
That does not die to the King's Creeper, actually.
Totally not expected.
Well, it can't even kill the Haunted Creeper right now. Ooh.
Well, it can kill that. It turns out it's actually better not to play the
He's going to Worm Rest Agent the face? Okay.
Oh, no! You have to play around Kings.
You attack into it.
He doesn't know what secret this is, but regardless, like Noble Sack, it's the same. I'm not really sure. Does some damage to the Creeper.
Alright, well there goes the Kings to kill the Worm Rest. You really can't seriously expect Kibler to play around that.
This is actually really cool for you because you have to expect this 5/3 to be killed. Right? It's a 5/3, it does a lot of damage, low life. But if it gets killed, then redemption procs. So
what if you don't force your opponent to do? You play
I like the Guardian here.
Yeah.
But then does he play a second Blessing of Kings?
Yeah.
Okay. And
I mean,
then
if
Shadow
you're
or Death.
if you're RDU, you'd think that well, if he had Shadow or Death, he
Yeah.
probably would have used it.
Yeah.
Like Drake doesn't seem that much better or better at all. So
It's pretty scary, the Secret. I feel like there's no way that RDU would play True Silver to kill the Twilight Guardian here, because then you're losing your 5/3 on the
Right.
trade, and then your redemption is going to be ruined with the
Right.
spiders. So he has to play the Second Kings here. And then it's like the true test of awkwardness for Kibler, because then it's like a 9 health minion,
Yeah.
a 9 attack minion, and if you kill it, it's redemption. So
but the redemption that stage is kind of fine.
yeah,
He doesn't know there's also a blessing of might that's going to come down.
It gives him like an opportunity to also finally utilize like the Northshire Cleric's health. There's a lot of 1/1 targets. I
Yeah.
mean, in the end, it's like, oh, it's a 1/1 Haunakyu that spawns 1/1s. I can keep drawing it until I get my power.
It's kind of weird how strong these like junk spiders or whatever creatures
Oh,
are like the
junk?
strongest ones when it comes to buffs, like Blessing of Kings
on a
spiders.
shielded mini bot.
Yeah.
The real scary thing here, if you look in the long run, is RDU's turn 6 follow up as well, because these turns are all going to be fairly good for RDU. And then the
Take
Metallic-
that dragon
They're the
back.
Core Hound.
Oh, it's better.
It's better than Core Hound. It's got Death Rattle. Alright, so that will spawn back. Kibber's like, alright, fine. Redemption.
I think it is fine. I mean, here I think you just you can even heal. I think healing might be better than playing another Northshire, even though it doesn't challenge the board as well. You really want your one creature to stick, and you kind of jeopardize that.
Yeah,
The
it stays
Northshire is more
alive,
tempo, but Kibler, I feel he almost needs card draw in a little bit, because he doesn't have very many reactive cards. His hand all does the same, more and more minions, but he is going for the tempo play.
I guess no matter what he does, he's going to have board presence, because the True Silver Champion wouldn't be able to answer it by itself. It would force him to use Blessing of Kings.
All right. Well, I think the Blessing of Might, True Silver is all right.
That rhymed.
This is actually a board clear for RDU if he decides to actually Blessing of Might and trade, but whatever you might is dead at that point, so a little bit awkward there.
Yeah, you basically get like a bad abusive sergeant.
Mm-hmm. Maybe he's gonna do another move, maybe something like
Noble
clear
Sack.
one and then play one of the secrets.
Or perhaps you can clear one and then Competitive Spirit, because you might not get a much better result for it.
He might consider trading in the 1/1 here to play around Cabal Shadow Priest.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good point.
Yeah.
The Ball Shadow Priest is coming up on.
Well, especially if you're going to do Competitive
Yeah.
Spirit.
I feel like he'll definitely, because if you trade the other one, then Cabal and you lose your whole board. So
All right. Well, pretty manageable situation here for both these guys. I think the Mysterious Challenger, like you said, though, is going to be the hardest part to answer.
yeah, and there is already going to be a Competitive Spirit this turn. So
Well, don't you want to heal first?
Yeah, he does. And he's going to do it. What's the best answer generally to Mysterious Challenge from Priest? Is it Shadow or Death? Is it Light Bomb?
That's interesting. I guess both would be fine. Something you want to do with I guess with either one of them is to proc the secrets first before deathing. If you get lucky, the Avenge hits the Mysterious Challenger.
Yeah.
You have to be careful though, because if you don't have any board control and you just open like Shadow or Death, the Mysterious Challenger, it comes back as a 6/1 because of redemption.
Yeah.
And if you can't deal last damage, it's still going to kill you. The 6/1. So you need to have some kind of board presence generally.
Alright. Well, I like to actually save the True Silver charge here.
There's only 2 secrets.
Yeah, but he's played so many, I think.
One of them should be Avenge, right? We haven't seen very many Avenge.
We also haven't seen the other Noble Sack. I think we know he has 2.
Yeah.
So I think it's just Avenge Noble Sack.
Very likely Avenge Noble
Because
Sack.
we've seen Redemption, and I guess he has omitted Repentance once again. He did that, I think, in his previous version.
He's checking now. Yeah. Oh,
Oh,
Repentance.
Repentance.
he only has 1 Noble Sack, or did we miss one?
No, he definitely didn't have another one.
Okay. Yeah. Because if that was a Noble Sack, I feel maybe you can just leave up the big guy, and then hopefully just tax him with a Noble Sacrifice, so it can't do anything that turn. There is the Cabal.
That's not too bad.
Yeah, that allows him to fight back on board a little bit. I mean, put out almost as many stats. Oh, never mind, just kidding.
Job's done.
Alright, well, the Muster for Battle can answer that new creature pretty well.
Oh,
Wow.
Knife Juggler.
that's
battle.
huge.
He can play out his entire hand if he really wants to.
Yeah, and then hopefully top deck with Divine Favor. Wow, Artie's actually thinking of trading for the Cleric to make the juggles more efficient.
Well, the creature stayed alive, right?
Mm-hmm.
If a 6/6 didn't die this turn, it's not going to die next turn, most
Yeah.
likely. Unless Light Bomb. Light Bomb would be really, really, really good for Keelblur.
Yeah, Kipper needs his Light Bomb or Chill Maul if he has it.
Oh,
Perfect juggles.
3 juggles. And now RDU can just hero power, and it's basically on that light bomb.
Yeah, this is where it gets really scary for Kibler because, again, like we were talking earlier, where if you have a whole minion-based deck and you don't have enough reactive stuff, you might be stuck just dropping minions into like a board, which is probably the worst possible thing.
It's actually pretty close to lethal.
Yeah.
It's getting there.
6, 10, 13, 15, 14. Yeah.
The Bound's Chosen not going to help here.
I think it's going to help. I think you put up a really big body and threatens a really devastating Holy Nova.
Is that much better than just playing the second body, though? I guess the problem with the 2 bodies is they don't trade for the Mysterious Challenger.
Mm-hmm.
But ultimately, it puts a very similar amount of health on board.
Yeah, it's a 6.
You can also use the balance perhaps to get a better recovery with the Twilight Guardian next turn. So there is some value in just saving it.
Second Mysterious Challenge.
Yeah.
There
There's
literally
no
can't be.
more secrets.
There's no more secrets. There's no way there's 2 Repentance
But-
that the only one that triggered.
Yeah,
It is a 6/6.
Right.
Still, which
for
is
6.
pretty good.
Yeah. Would you play out the rest? I guess you're not. You have if you play Noble Sacrifice on a full board,
Mm-hmm.
does it trigger?
No.
No, but I think there's there's definitely going to be a trade into this Azure Drake, right? It's very scary to leave up an Azure Drake with 2 spell power.
Yeah.
He does know that there shouldn't be a Holy Nova, but there's always top deck potential. I'd say you can think about miting a small guy and trading in, and just using it as a bad abusive sergeant here, just because you want to keep your other 6/6 alive or 6/5 alive.
Sure.
Okay, well, he is opting to do that. He still gets wiped out by Light Bomb, though. And he just saved Keelblur a lot of health.
Oof. I mean, it's still an intimidating amount of power onto the board. 15.
15 for next turn, which is pretty much still threatening lethal.
Yeah, with the Knife Juggler 2 ability, that Twilight Guardian's going to have to do a lot.
There was...
Well,
No.
he got another taunt activator, which keeps him alive, so it's like 1 extra chance to draw Light Bomb.
Yeah.
And playing the Drake kind of gives you 2 extra chances to draw Light Bomb.
Kibler had a chance.
Oh, hello.
He doesn't the Chill Maul.
Yeah. And he does have a dragon in his hand, the last Ysera sitting there.
Mm-hmm.
Second Juggler. Nah, I guess you just keep pushing them. It's really not that big of a difference.
Pretty much going to come down to this Chill Maul.
But it's going to come down to the way he trades here.
Yeah.
Because if he doesn't kill the 4/4 Drake here, and he might not. I mean, I wouldn't blame if RDU just went face here. But if he does do that, then Chillmaw will wipe.
Oh my god, it's
That's
almost
so
lethal.
much damage.
It's going to be at 1 life if he all faces here. But if RDU does all face, he's going to get wiped out by Chill Maul.
Okay.
Which is scary. What are those 2 secrets left?
One of them is Avenge. The other is Noble Sacrifice.
That's not good enough.
Oh,
it is good enough.
It is if the juggle doesn't hit the face.
Juggle has to hit face.
Okay,
The 6 goes
so-
through.
2 chances for Juggler
So
to
juggles
face.
hit face.
So RDU wins 75% of the time here.
Yeah. And in RD's perspective, if Kibler doesn't have a dragon, he does win, no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
So it comes down to 2 pings on the face. No,
There it
whoa,
goes.
there it
Okay.
is.
Just
One
one.
ping on the
Just
face.
one, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kibler's not happy.
Oh
with
man,
that.
Kibler lost.
What? The second, oh yeah, that's kind of weird.
Yeah.
We're
I wonder
gonna
what
have to fix
Valleytown will do now.
Strategy has been foiled.
Yeah.
Touche.
Oh, Nihilum does even it out. That is pretty nice. That's certainly a motivational booster.
Yeah.
Certainly a tough matchup. I don't even know who's favored, but it does feel that the Paladin may have had a pretty tough time winning the game if things were under normal circumstances. But that Haunted Creeper double kings really
That's
messed
pretty
things
awesome,
up.
man.
Yeah,
well,
it
it's
was.
cool to see a spider be able to get that big. And it's like, normally when you have double kings in your hand, you always anticipate it to be awkward, especially
Right.
with a faster deck. But
Yeah.
in that sequence of draws and the way it lies,
Especially with the coin, so you have
Yeah.
1 on turn 3 and then
Yeah.
one
Kings
on
and
turn
kings.
4. Dude, is that the Arena Dream Crypt?
Those are actually all cards except Redemption, of course, that you get in Arena.
Yeah.
So King's pretty good, but actually in Arena, the Sealed Champion is usually more punishing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the Divine Shield. I mean, it's kind of like Valence Chosen,
Yeah,
right? It's like a really powerful onto the board, so.
Right.
We've seen that, and I guess we're going to see more of this. I wonder what the dynamic is like, because you can't just send Kibler again without risk of getting benched. But if Team Value Town feels like Kibler's still really good, because Dragon Priest is decently favored across the field outside of the handlock, maybe he feels like a good spot.
Well, let's think about maybe what some of these decks might be. The Druid we kind of know, the Priest we exactly know. I think there's actually some chance Trump switches it up with Warlock. I think he actually had a lot of luck with the Dragon Lock. So I don't know. I wouldn't put it past them to switch it up away from Zoo.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not 100% sure what kind of Warlock Trump is. I'm fairly sure Dog is still playing Patron, though. I feel like Patron is too good across the field in the 6th deck, or Best of 11 Conquest. Every team so far has brought Patron in the whole finals. It's like the Rogue that's a lot different.
I think he would just bring his normal Rogue. Yeah. Dog is well known for his triple heal Rogue, where he likes to bring like 2 anti-Q bots because he just hates die aggro. And he plays 2 oils, so you can make up for the lack of firepower with a lot of burst.
Do you think maybe the experiences Dog had with Patron Warrior might actually have some chance in him bringing a Control Warrior?
It does make sense. I mean, Patron Warrior is a very high skill cap deck. In a tournament this big, there's a lot of pressure, and it's very easy to mess up Patron, especially with all the, I guess, roping going on potentially. And we even saw Life Coach last time kind of not count the creepers, right? Had the weird smile. He knew he was maybe going to mess it up, but
Control really isn't that bad. Control is still a fairly top tier deck. Most of the matchups that are good for Patron are still good for Control.
I feel like one of the problems with Control is that with the new Seeker Paladin being kind of good against Control Warrior, since there's just too many threats followed by Divine Favor, it's like Control Wars generally fallen out of favor, mostly just because of that one deck being really popular. So the one aggro deck where the control deck can't beat in a way. So
yeah.
I'll see. I mean, I like Dragon Warrior too. I think some people are experimenting with it, but I think Dragon Warrior is just worse than Control Warrior at the moment.
Not much worse.
Yeah, but it's still slightly worse.
I think so, yeah. All right, well, we will find out what kind of Warlock Trump is bringing in. He's brought Zoo a lot of the last few times, but again, in the earlier stages in the tournament, as well as sometimes when he just plays alone on his stream, he does kind of spice it up a little bit with the Warlock sets, so I wouldn't put it past him here. In terms of favorable matchups, I don't think the Warlock is great against any Hunter or any Warlock you bring, really.
Probably not, yeah.
So Handlock is
Hunter is like a natural counter.
Yeah.
You hero power, and then they hero power themselves.
Yeah. Well, that is one way to see it.
Yeah, I'm just trying to look at RDU's Hunter. He's playing the hybrid version? He's playing Explosive Trap.
There's definitely an Explosive Trap. I guess you could count it as a face or a hybrid. The distinction is kind of weird. What counts as what kind of Hunter, but it's definitely something with Glazuka and Leper Gnome, something very aggressive.
I think it's more of the aggressive face Hunter, which is...
there's a high main, though. So I guess it's...
Face Hunter with high main.
Trump does spice it up, though. We do see the Molten Giant and the Dr. Boom. Actually, I believe Demon Handlock cuts Dr. Boom a lot of the time. So I think this might actually lead into a likelihood of it being just pure Handlock.
Not necessarily. It feels like they cut more of the Sylvanas or the Siphon Soul type stuff from Handlock. Dr. Boom is just too good. I mean, the reason why is you can anticipate cutting Dr. Boom sometimes is even if it's just BGH, it still has a big impact. If it's your only BGH target, you can justify. But in this case, you have so many things worth BGH that Dr. Boom's not really that bad.
Yeah,
that's true.
In fact, at this point, Dr. Boom is more of a consideration. Say something like Patron, where the boom bots are sometimes liabilities.
A win condition.
Yeah, exactly. Instead of the whole BGH thing. There's 2 Arguses, which is not completely normal.
No, not at all. It's just because they don't... Argus is sometimes pretty clunky, and for a long time people ran with only 1, but it's very Life Coach-esque to run 2 Dark Defender of Argus.
Well, there's a Doomguard, so it is probably very similar to what Life Coach was playing. Now, I've had a lot of success with Demon Handlock on ladder, but I feel like the Hunter matchup doesn't really seem much better than just regular Handlock, because I think one thing Demon Handlocks always drop compared to regular handlock is the Belcher, and that always gives you like a little bit extra buffer.
Yeah, Belcher's a pretty common drop in the Demon Handlock, and it hurts. But you kind of make up for it somewhat with the Void Caller. Sometimes you get lucky and get out Mal'Ganis or Draxus and then taunt the Draxus. Either way, it's not going to be a good matchup.
Really no Arcane Golem.
Wow.
Yeah.
He's just going to forego his curve.
Really important that RDU misses his 3-drop, and because...
Yeah, the Animal Companion is supposed to be able to just continue to be that damage point, because you expect your opponent to be able to play something on like this turn, maybe you coin something out, and the Animal Companion is supposed to dip twice in damage. Mm-hmm. Hover does 8, and Misha starts getting hits in.
I really think he should be saving the coin for Jiraxis at this stage in the game, because this is Face Hunter. You just need like volume healing.
Yeah. Both players not with a super good curve. Trump misses his coin Twilight Drake or coin it's called Void Caller, so he misses his 4-drop as well.
It's more forgiving in handlock. Maybe not in this match though.
Yeah, he's getting very low. This is he's
basically at 10.
Yeah, if you count the Leopardome as like 4 here and then Hero Power, although probably Hero Power is not coming out here, but still it's just. You don't really stabilize this handlock in this matchup very easily just because there's high main. So if Hunter's ahead and then they just slam high main on turn 6 and you don't really you don't really take over the board before then it becomes very hard to deal with the high main as well. So
well, if you do put them under 10, there's actually the possibility, well, hypothetically in terms of RDU's standpoint, that Trump will be able to Molten, Healbot, and coin a Sun Fury.
Wow.
So that would be like completely game ending. So I think that's why he's not really willing to go full face right now.
Really surprising, yeah. RD actually trades. I didn't realize.
Doesn't he get like his Hunter membership to the club?
Shamans can't.
Apparently, Hunters can trade, but Shamans can't trade.
Well, actually, weird game we're playing. There was one game that RDU did trade, which costed him too.
Even trading the Leopardome for free without killing.
Yeah, he's really respecting the health count because he can't deal with the Moltens. He really wants to burn first, and the double unleash is pretty awkward because you rather have just a direct burn instead of a situational.
Yeah, I think RD's reasoning is that he wants to set up the high main before going all in through the Moltens.
Yeah,
and if the Moltens come the turn before the high main, then the high main becomes very awkward to play.
So then, from Trump's perspective here, he's given some breathing room. He didn't have any taunt.
Maybe he's still saving the coin for Jiraxis. Problem is, Trump's hand, there's not a really easy way for him. There's not a very obvious move that he has that just stands out that's very good. He doesn't have a Belter here. He doesn't have, say, a Sun Fury or Argus for the Ancient Watchers.
I think he can actually tap again. I kind of like Ancient Watcher tap and trade for the Raptor. Because you might not even get attacked for 4.
He has to find basically a move that's...
And you can silence the Watcher if you really want to control the board next turn. Okay, so a bit of a compromise play. He wants to develop the board a little bit more.
Yeah, he doesn't want to tap and put himself in a situation where he can't really back up that. And the BGH, what's it really going to drop on? Like this kind of Hunter that has Explosive Trap and Arcane Golem is not going to run Dr. Boom.
Yeah.
Is it?
I'm pretty sure that with Arcane Golem and stuff... In Glaivezuka, there's no Dr. Boom, so the BGH does threaten the trade on the Shredder. With how RDU played, I'd be very surprised if he does anything except high main, since the whole point.
I like high main trade.
Yeah, so
it's consistent with last turn.
Exactly, it's very consistent line of play with how he traded last turn. So then, if he high main trades, he sets up for basically his next turn being start all face, right? Like this is his last turn that he's willing to trade. He might just go face this turn. This is like the decision here.
Yeah, he's definitely thinking about it.
I guess he's thinking, what really happens if he leaves up the big game Hunter? How does he get punished? Those kind of things.
I think it has to do with Hellfire Molten Talk.
Yeah. Oh, that's a minion that's going to be problematic to remove outside of AoE.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Can't Dark Bomb it.
Trump actually can't do anything again.
And one of the issues with saving your coin for Jiraxis, I don't know if Trump really tried to. It just ended up where he didn't have a great turn for coin, but Jiraxis is really good for healing against like someone that's rushing you down, like a face hunter. But if your opponent still has the high main up, it's not, it's you have to deal with the high main first before really playing Draxus.
The only clean way to deal with the high main is silence coin Doomguard.
Yeah, you're gonna toss away some of these cards that are really good. Your heal bot.
Yeah, I think it might happen. And sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah.
Hope he doesn't lose his heal bot.
Oh my! It is happening.
Or his Draxus.
He wants to pitch his Ancient Watcher.
Yeah, Ancient Watcher and maybe the Dark Bomb.
He's like, are you kidding me?
Oh!
Wow!
The perfect discard almost.
Wow.
Yeah, that's the perfect Doom card.
Yeah.
That was a great pitch, Trump.
But Artie's still very good chance to win this game.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Now
It's a lot of
Unleash the
damage.
Hound gets value.
A lot of damage on Unleash the Hounds. 2 Unleash the Hounds, Quick Shot, Arcane Golem. Problem is there is a heal bot. I feel like RDU might consider a line of play here where he just thinks about the math
he's
here.
got 3 cards, right?
Yeah, like whether he can
just do it.
Yeah, whether you can kill him before Draxus turn 9, and it's definitely possible. There's 3 turns for him to kill.
Yeah, and he's got as long as he keeps weaving in hero powers, he can continue to push his opponent down. And it's one of those scenarios too where he knows his opponent will want to trade onto the board, so like he can play Unleashed and doesn't have to worry about hitting into the 5/1 because the more minions he keeps out, the more dog that come out.
Hellfire is very expensive too to play here. I feel like you want to save Arcane Golem for the final.
Oh, he's
hit.
going for the double Unleash. He does not want to give away a mana crystal.
This is the perfect move against Trump's hand. Right, because there's no AoE.
Right, yeah, exactly.
So it makes sense if he's trading as well, because if he's going to trade, then the second Unleash won't be as effective. So.
All right, well, Trump needs something here. That is
literally
pretty much the worst draw loop.
He can bounce up to 19, and RDU can push for 7+7+2.
So 16?
Yeah. Actually all right now.
This seems very close. I don't think that RDU will play the Arcane Golem if he can't have lethal, just because it pushes the Warlock into 9 mana.
Oh.
The Desperate life tap here.
Oh. Yeah, but that does allow him to potentially have...
What is that 1 right now?
Oh, is that 1?
Yeah. Now he's
Wow.
Now he's dead.
That does it.
He's dead.
Yeah.
Kill Command Arcane Golem. Quick shot.
And RDU stealing Kibler's role, cleaning up people with aggro decks.
Yeah, there it is. Very well done. And that's a very quick 2-0. RDU's done. He can take a break. Maybe that was a strategy. So RDU's got to be the one standing, putting up the long hours. And he's also, for the second series in a row, the first to finish up for Nihilum.
Yeah,
Not too bad. No, he's very happy.
I know RDU's been under probably a lot of stress with the whole Shaman
The lava
fiasco.
burst issues.
I mean, he takes losses really hard.
Yeah.
You just look at all, like, he even takes it upon himself to fend off the masses on Twitter to explain his plays. And it's like, that takes a lot of, bravery to say the least.
All right. Well, the Value Town conference area there.
Oh.
Back to the notes.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay, there we go. We don't want to show any super secret information.
Yeah,
there,
I guess the Value Town security guards shut down that camera. So.
Yeah, they're pretty buffed up there. You don't want to mess with them.
Yeah, Trump only hires the best.
Now, as it happens, we started off the day with Value Town versus Nihilum continuation from last night, and Nihilum really felt... it was an unfair situation because the way things went down into a disconnect that they thought they won. And they ended up losing, which led to Value Town getting essentially one step higher up in the finals. And maybe now this is what it takes, Yeah. Maybe this is vindication.
They've climbed their way back. And the way the series started was 2-1 in favor of Value Town. And now Nihilum's up 2-1 over Value Town. So maybe they have the ones who can continue to win from this point. And also keep in mind that Trump just lost. So again, they're in a position where Trump has to be careful not to overextend and get benched, and then you can corner the rest of these decks here.
Yeah, I think it looks pretty well for Nihilum right now. It is still very early, and absolutely anything can happen, which is exactly what we've seen in the tournament so far. Just the craziest stuff. Yeah. But they do have that slight edge, and things are just looking up.
Yeah, with Dog also bringing a Rogue. If you look at some of the matchups left for Rogue, they might not all be so good either. Dog's like new Rogue. I know Rogue against Druid is fairly high. Like people are pretty Not sure about which one's better, but
it's just Patron, right? That's it. Rogue's all right against Patron.
I mean, depends on which kind of if you ask a rogue player, they're never disfavored against anything. They're always favored.
Okay.
Like you talk to like fire bats, like Rogue's favored in this match. It's like Rogue's favored against handlock. It's like why? And the whole point is that they believe that they can hold on to things like Blade Flurry and build a big weapon, and then classes like Druid and handlock can never build boards.
Yeah, it's a deck that a lot of the pros have a lot of love for. If you practice it a lot, it's very high skill deck, and it's very flexible as well.
Careful throwing that word around, the S word.
Oh.
Yeah, we saw what happened with Dr. Boom earlier. I don't know if you should be really throwing bullets around.
Don't just say those words lightly, Strife. Decks take skill. Ooh.
That was just rolling dice for 150k
Mom's gonna roll in
today.
here. You're fired.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Well, we have a pretty good opportunity here to see if Value Town can roll out this rogue eventually, but I still think the time isn't right at the moment. I'd be okay with just like tossing out Patron. It's still like a decent win rate, but the problem is the handlock on both sides. You're always scared about that Patron running into the handlock.
The feeling I get from Dogring and Rogue is like it's kind of his like identity deck. Like he really just played that out so much and had such success with it, even at times where it wasn't really the best.
Yeah.
And I really get that parallel from Dice. I remember in the past when Druid wasn't really considered a very good class.
Yeah.
Dice just bring it anyway, just beat everyone. So
I mean, he was the only one too. He still is. I mean, Druid's had middling results for a lot of people. You saw Dog struggle with it. You saw Hype struggle with it.
Right.
Strifeco had to bring a different kind of Druid to succeed.
Yep.
Ty still was the one holding strong with Druid. Still drawing them wild growths. Still be able to hit those turn 3 booms.
Yeah. That's a pretty nice advantage in any game.
It is. All right, so Patron versus the handlock. This is something that Life Coach wanted to avoid, but it almost feels like this is why you bring the handlock nowadays.
It's one of the main reasons.
It's so you can kill the patron.
Yeah, very, very strong against patrons. That's why you see a lot of the demon handlocks popular right now instead of handlocks, because it's very important to hit your 4-drop like high threat minion.
Right.
And with the extra 2 void callers, it's very unlikely that you miss. It's all about pressure in this matchup for handlock, just because with how powerful and high damage the handlock minions are, and patron only having 2 executes, it really like makes it hard for the patron to really like stall long enough for like the 50 damage frothing combos that we always see.
Does Life Coach have the 1 shield slam variation of patron? Because that kind of puts a little bit more removal in the arsenal.
I know Hyped had it. I don't know if Life Coach had it though.
Yeah, I'm not sure whether he has it or not. Is this the first time? Okay, I don't think I saw Life Coach play it in the match.
I mean, you had to win with it.
Yeah. No, I mean play the shield slam.
I am almost certain that I saw shield slam.
Okay.
And I think that's what a lot of people are doing right now.
I think
just to counter the aggro decks.
I remember.
They're running the double Fiery War Axe, the double shield block, and the 1 shield slam just to counter some of the aggression. And some of that translates against Warlock fairly well. Less so the Fiery War Axes.
Yeah. Trump does have his most important card already. I mean, the Mountain Giant. I think he'll probably mulligan the 2 other cards and just try to pick up more threats here.
Yeah, it really doesn't seem like there is much point to keep a Watcher or Jiraxis there.
Yeah, wow. The second Mountain Giant. That's actually kind of the dream.
And a Dark Bomb to maybe prevent some draws from an Acolyte.
That's actually pretty much the dream, because what happens is you can play if you don't have a coin as handlock, you can play a Mountain Giant on turn 4, then on turn 5 you can tap, and then play the second Mountain Giant for 3 mana, so it's actually going to be... And because you get to weave in this extra tap, then you have like a really strong hand.
So the patrons are just not doing anything this first turns anyway. So you have that room to tap and play whatever you want. Yeah. That's why it's such a contrast from the matchup that we just saw against the Hunter as Trump playing the
exactly. Like Mountain Giant is like the worst card against Hunter and the best card against patrons. So.
Right. Now, another pretty interesting thing is I feel like the Demon Handlock variety, whenever you get that Void Caller, whenever you hit it with a taunt, it's often so safe against patron combos if you have Mal'Ganis in hand.
Yeah. They never quite know as well. So with how hard patron is and how easy to mess up. If you just give him that like one more X factor, and you know it makes them like overthink, and you can
yeah, you just really mess with them.
Yeah, exactly.
Their calculations are off.
Exactly.
And then at the same time, there's the patient warriors who don't respect it, and then Melgans comes out and they.
Now, the slow game is ultimately won by the Patron Warrior still. If both decks play out very slowly, the Patron just has the nuts in the end. But Trump has those double Mountain Giants, as you said, and those are very high pressure cards. They're going to speed up the game. They're going to drop some combo cards out of Life Coach's hand in some cases.
A lot of times this matchup comes down to how good of an answer Warrior has to the first threats. We see Life Coach does have a Slam Execute for the first Giant, and then also a Shield Slam. So if he can somehow stack up enough armor where he can Shield Slam down a Patron,
yeah, that'll buy him
time. 2 right now. He needs to build up 4 more armor.
He is a bit short.
Is it that valuable to save the coin for something too? Because you could coin out the No Mission Vendor, give you board presence, and sort of the draws.
I guess I don't feel like the coin is super important in this matchup. If you can kill them, it's more about whether you hit the Emperor and whether you have the exact cards in your hand or not.
Sure.
It's generally not limited by that one coin in this matchup.
Right.
But it's just, I guess the cost of coining out a Gnomish Inventor is you're losing 2 armor for the Shield Slam. I guess it makes sense because ultimately with 2 armored, 4 armored, you're still not going to be able to Shield Slam down a Mountain Giant. Whereas if you get a Shield Block, then it might push you into the range of being able to kill it.
And 4 health is not really something a Warlock can deal with, so it helps a little bit.
Yeah.
Helps control the board a little bit.
Yeah.
I wonder if there's any additional aspect of it, like you want to make sure that even though you keep your shield high enough to Shield Slam, you don't get too high, because that way Battle Rage can get some value.
Yeah.
Like, those are also like the hard questions that
Right.
I'm never prepared to answer.
And Battle Rage absolutely is a very important card in this matchup, where all you're really doing is setting up the super combo.
Okay.
Slam is really good here.
Yeah.
It allows them Life Coach to cycle even further in their deck for those really important cards like Emperor and Shield Block here. People have I think one of the main evolutions of Patron over the last 3 or 4 months is that before in control matchups, Warriors used to keep the Frothings for OTK and the Patrons for board control. That's how most of the patrons played. So they would just go ahead and play Patron on turn 6 and try to use them for board control, maybe see if they have the AoE. But now as Patron Warriors are getting better, it's this new style where it's even more heavy cycle with Shield Block. And the evolution of the Patron is that they don't even play Patron anymore for board control. They actually save both Frothing and Grim Patron for the OTK. And that is what people, I guess, are complaining about in some sense, because that's really when you see Patron kill someone through 211 health taunts and at 30, because when you have both the Warsong and the Frothing and the Patron, that's when they can get through all the taunts as well.
I know some people are really livid in those moments.
Yeah.
They're already on Reddit with they got the first half of the paragraph already typed
this
up.
is already half written because the matchup just started.
Yeah.
And they're
I
waiting for the
can't
injustice.
believe he did 50 damage through 2 taunts.
Especially because
Trump is the one usually in the other person's shoes.
End, right?
Yeah. Well, again, he is in this position.
Yeah, that was a really good breakdown of Strife Crow, because I couldn't really exactly put it in the words, but I think it's a really good point, because the whole point is that you use the pages to generate more damage, and you only need 1 Frothing to break through.
Exactly.
They're usually in the high teens or mid-teens, maybe even 20 damage is reasonable for 1 Frothing to go through.
If you think about that combo,
Frothings have drilled way higher than that.
Yeah. If you think about the combo, what happens is the taunt actually contributes 0, because anytime a patron bumps into a taunt, your Frothing is getting +2, and since the patron is only 3 damage to face, you're only losing 1 damage. But if you count the fact that you have an extra taunt on the board for the Whirlwind that's inevitable that turn as well, you're actually any taunt is realistically not
there.
Not there. It's it's not there. Right.
It's actually hurting you.
Yeah. If there's 2 Whirlwinds, it's hurting you.
Yeah.
So
taunt creatures increasing your face damage intake. Why do these
working as
things exist?
intended?
Yeah. Well, I think it's still pretty fun. I certainly enjoy the crazy moments that happen as a result of patron combos, and I honestly would not be upset at all if it happened again here.
Well, there's a lot of plays available to Trump this turn.
This is a hard turn. A lot of options.
I like just Hellfire. I don't know if you really need to silence the card draw.
Yeah,
it's only
Hellfire's
one card, right?
very good here because one, he has the Shadow Flame for the patrons if they come out, and two, the Hellfire clears the whole board, right? The
Ghoul kills the
Ghoul
2/4.
kills the 2/3, and the Acolyte actually dies in one shot because of the Hellfire.
Yeah, I'm not really liking the Emperor. It feels like a lot of room for disaster with your opponent can draw a lot of
The
cards.
disaster is when you go face and play Emperor, or when you trade, the Battle Rage is actually the scariest.
I know in some situations, Acolyte draws a card from overkill damage. Would this be one of those situations?
I don't think so. I'm not.
I don't think so either, but I've seen some craziness.
Yeah.
Looks like he's probably going to opt for just the Dark Bomb.
Huh.
But because he signs first,
He wants to save the Hellfire for a patron turn. He thinks Life Coach is capable of just flooding the board with patrons, but I really doubt we're going to see that from him.
Yeah, it's fair. You know, having Hellfire just as more AoE is one of those things the same as the patron might feel against the big threats. Like, don't use the Execute and Chill Same unless you have to.
in a way, with the new style of like Grim Patron being used for the only the OTK, where they're not even trying it, it's like you kind of even okay to just not have an AoE just because they won't go for the patron anyways sometimes. So
that's true. But then, is it ever like one of those scenarios where because they use the AoE, you're more incentivized to go patron flood?
That would be perfect because you have the Shadow Flame.
Okay, yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
All right, well, you can clean up with a Shield Slam, but you can't really do much else in this position.
Yeah, the question is if you cycle your Slam here, you armor up here, or you cycle your Battle Rage here. There's a lot of weird things.
I kind of like the armor up. It just might buy you another turn in the end, which is exactly... I mean, you only need one turn to finish the game, so one turn can make a really big difference.
Life Coach has 2 Whirlwinds, Inner Rage, and the Patron. So once he does pick up the Emperor and the Frothing, one of them, and the War Song, you can almost guarantee that
Few more pieces. Few more pieces. Trump has a lot more pieces than Life Coach does, but Trump is not playing a deck that he just wins instantly. So he's gotta grind out his opponent.
He has to just slam down his cards.
But that can actually start to happen because Life Coach really doesn't have any more removal. So right now it's Trump's game. Trump is on the clock to win the game, to seal out the game before Life Coach can draw more combo pieces.
Wow, with this Death Bite, Life Coach doesn't even really need Emperor, I think. There's so much damage already that once he picks up the War Song, it feels like Trump would be dead. I feel like the big turning point of this game right now is how big this Battle Rage in Life Coach's hand can get, because if Life Coach somehow managed to set up a really nice Battle Rage, he should get what he needs. I feel like the problem is it's very hard for him to do that, though.
Yeah, you pretty much have to use half a Patron comboed and then Battle Rage to cycle through the deck.
And that's one of the problems you were saying with the armor being at 7. If Life Coach is at 29 here, the Battle Rage drawing 2 cards is perfect.
Well, then what's the play here? You got to set it up. You can kill the Emperor. It's pretty important to kill it, too, because you get too many tempo plays with it.
If Life Coach had 1 less armor, he could Inner Rage.
And draw that extra card.
Inner Rage and
Inner Rage Death Bite. It wouldn't even be that bad.
Yeah, I think it'd be great if he had the 1.
That's pretty funny.
Oh, he drew after he played the weapon.
Misplay. I'll be Twitch chat.
Oh, how we missed you.
Yeah.
Well, in this case, Trump
has a big hand.
Yeah, he's got a full hand.
Discounted as well.
Yeah, he can do a lot of stuff, but are you really willing to do much of any of stuff?
He can play half his hand.
It feels like all the cards are reactionary and they don't really fit the situation yet. Maybe just slam down Mal'Ganis is okay.
Yeah, I feel like it's pretty reasonable. I mean, you can set up a taunt wall with the 2 Watchers. The problem is that taunt wall doesn't pressure the patron.
Yeah.
And if they do go for the super combo, the taunt wall won't actually even help that much.
The really cool thing with just dropping down Mal'Ganis and not having another creature on the board is Deathbite literally has to attack Mal'Ganis.
Yeah.
And that helps you grind out your opponent, which is how you win.
Yeah. How many cards does Trump have? He has 10.
10.
So
he has to play something.
He can't even tap.
No, he cannot tap.
And then try to play the
He could play Watch Your Tap and evaluate. But I think Mal'Ganis, like you said, might be a strongest option.
Play here.
Yeah, it kind of alleviates the X factor, as you called it, from some of the Voidwalker plays that Trump might have. But it's still the best play.
Life Coach is out of card removal, right? With the 2 executes.
Did he use both? I thought he used one.
I thought he used one shield
Oh,
slam,
one
execute.
shield slam, one execute.
He used
Right.
2 slams though.
Okay.
So it's not like he could cycle into slam and then kill this off.
Mm-hmm.
I suppose his best chance to do this is to first draw off the shield block.
Yeah. Life Coach has a couple turns, right? It might even be more than a couple. Like, Trump won't actually be able to get lethal on Life Coach, say, 3 more turns, even without removal.
Yeah.
So
Life Coach's draw's been punished, though. Like, he really hasn't gone through that many cards. The chance of him drawing a piece that he needs is not particularly high as it might otherwise be against other matchups.
And it's actually very awkward to start using your Inner Rages and Whirlwinds for card draw if you get something like an Acolyte of Pain or Battle Rage. It's hard to actually utilize your damage as well. So, just gonna try to survive as long as you can. No real answers for the Mal'Ganis. I guess his answer is just tanking it for a while until he gets what he needs.
There's still no rush. I mean,
Yeah.
outside of Mal'Ganis, what can you really do to
The
really
Dr.
push
Boom.
damage? Yeah, the Dr. Boom. It's pretty good.
Pretty good.
Would you consider taunting up something else besides Mal'Ganis so that way he can't directly attack into it? Or does it not matter at all?
Again, I like Sun Fury into Dr. Boom right now.
Protect the boom.
No, just require the weapon hit to do 9 damage to the warrior.
Yeah, so taunt up... okay, so you're saying not protect the boom, but force him to attack into Mal'Ganis.
Yep.
I feel like Trump is very scared of playing Dr. Boom. I can't imagine if he's going to play Dr. Boom with this line.
Yeah, because his opponent passed with a lot of damage.
So he did. She's letting him pass. I guess he was scared of getting OTK'd because of the extra minions on board. That's why you see Trump actually get in all these positions on Reddit, because Trump plays in a way where he does. You know, Trump doesn't go
gives
for
him
it.
the time.
Exactly. He just kind of doesn't play.
TLDR, it's
10
Trump's
health.
fault, he loses.
10 health. We just did the math. That 10 health is actually 0 health worth of protection
Yes.
against the combo.
Yes.
Oh.
Okay. So there's the last execute.
But no war song to be found.
No. And no Emperor either.
So with this, you probably just execute Mal'Ganis to slow down the damage intake.
How do you hurt the Mal'Ganis right now?
I think you have to use your weapon. You have enough activators in your hand here.
You have 1 whirlwind as well.
Yeah, but it also deals with the Ancient Watcher, which is really nice.
I mean, Ancient Watcher is not really much.
Oh yeah, you're right. You're not pushing for face damage anyway, right? Because you're not getting through the taunt anyway, and the Ancient Watcher doesn't attack.
It kind of helps to have it around. It's
Yeah,
just
you're
more
right.
damage.
You're
Something that Life Coach might do is just bump in the Armor Smith into the Twilight Drake and execute that. That way he gets to save all his Whirlwinds. As far as the actual life gain goes, he is going to have to kill Mal'Ganis when he... Life Coach is going to have to kill Mal'Ganis eventually if he wants to kill Trump. But the Twilight Drake has 10 health. So it's technically a little bit more efficient to just...
It is, but you don't have your win condition right now. You want to slow down the game.
I guess it's a difference of 5 damage still per turn with the 9 compared to the 4.
Well, he's got to make a decision now.
Yep.
It looks like he's going to whirlwind execute. I can understand that too. Just like the immunity effect also lets him life tap too much without being in danger of potentially dying.
Yeah.
So Trump only has 6 damage on board now every turn.
It's a net of 4. It's not even that much.
Yeah. Cut in half. Or more.
Just out of curiosity, is Jiraxis ever really played in here outside of Void Caller stuff?
I don't believe so.
But he's great with Void Caller.
Yeah. If you can get him out with Void Caller, taunt him up.
If you think 10 health on a Twilight Drake resulting in 0 protection is good,
well,
wait until Jiraxis gets 14 and shows you that.
Both have been executed though.
Yeah.
So
once you get enough health, it becomes protection.
Yeah.
Because if the patrons can't actually kill the minion with taunt, then it becomes protection if the frothing has to trade into it.
What is Trump trying to draw into here? I feel like he has all the big stuff. He should just be playing big stuff once a turn here.
Yeah, the way Trump's playing, his most important resource is time, turn-based.
Right.
Because his minions are just doing that damage every turn.
Right.
it feels like
I don't feel like he's drawing into anything. It's just he's just trying to get the turn damage in.
Maybe it's just a race. Who can draw more cards? It's a tie right now. 11 left.
Maybe he's trying to figure out Void Caller so he can pull Jiraxis and then.
The reason I like Dr. Boom is every time I play it, it just kills either Grim Patron or the War Song. I'm just so happy.
Yeah. Oh, Emperor.
Emperor on this hand is pretty nice.
Pretty nice. Okay, so I feel like this is coming down to whether because Life Coach is running out of time. He's gonna die very soon at this point. Trump actually just went all in as well. So I feel like the most likely move for Life Coach is just plop down the Emperor and hope to top deck Warsong next turn. I haven't done the math, but I feel like if the Warsong comes down next turn, it's lethal.
Oh, you're right. Well, I mean,
You have to iterate so you can Warsong, Frothing, Patron, Enrage, and you have the
assuming he doesn't kill the Frothing.
Exactly.
I think with an Owl and Lucky Bombs, Trump has lethal.
Wow, interesting.
Because he can Owl the Watcher for 4 more, and he has Dark Bomb and Hellfire to activate the Boombots that might hopefully go face. And that creates space for the Owl.
Wow, 33
21.
damage.
He has 21 damage if you count the Watcher as 4 damage as well.
Okay.
There's 33, so he needs to do 12 more from hand.
Which has 6 of, so the Boombots can hit for 6, yeah.
Yep. That's reasonable.
He has a potential lethal with Owl if he decides to go for it.
Mm-hmm. I feel like that's very unlikely.
Oh.
Because you actually kill yourself with Hellfire. And then
But it is pretty spectacular.
Yeah, it's spectacular. I can't imagine you just Hellfire. If you miss, you just lose.
Yeah. If I was streaming, I would think about it. Seems good.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things, too, where you realize every turn you give to the patron is one more chance you give them.
Exactly. But unfortunately, there's no Owl, so I don't think it's...
You also have to think you're pretty dead right now if you're Trump. He's been saving 5 cards the whole game, and he just Emperored them.
Life Coach has been running very bad in his Warrior. In particular, just
games.
this one problem he always has. Never has the Warsong.
Right.
Maybe he doesn't have Warsong in his deck.
Uh-oh.
Maybe someone trolled him.
Yeah.
Have we even
Type
seen
took out
one, though?
Warsong from his deck.
We haven't seen one.
Not.
No,
Yeah,
we had to have. He won a game, right? You can't win games without Warsong.
No, he had a Warsong, he just didn't play it.
Oh,
Against
okay.
Eloise.
Just a Patron Zerg? That's right, I remember now.
More taunts coming right up.
Literally just impossible wall of taunts.
Yeah, this might be so many taunts that
It's literally that Boombot was the old Sun Fairy protector from the beta. Do you remember? Give every minion.
Oh, what a piece of crap.
It would have been a spectacular battle here.
Yeah, it would have been a lot of crazy stuff.
If there was a Warsong.
Spectacular battle.
I am honestly not
epic.
sure what happens, right? But it would be awesome to see what the fireworks.
The Battle of Plano.
Yeah.
Remembered in 2015.
Taunts versus...
I think there's literally no way Life Coach stays alive.
Okay, so let's count Trump's damage. 11, 12, plus 6, 18 damage.
18, but from the hand, he's
Or
got
from the
Hellfire
hand and Dark Bomb.
and Dark Bomb, so that's 24.
Yeah. Seems...
And the Boombot
Over.
would trigger, right?
Yeah.
Boombot would trigger, so 28.
Unless Life Coach decides to use his board to clear, which I don't think he even can. There's no Warsong, so the minions don't clear anyways, I guess.
He can clear the 3 health creature, just the Argus. It's not enough. Yeah, he just loses here.
Yeah.
There's absolutely no way to survive this.
He is definitely dead.
Wow, that's so weird. There's not going to be a Reddit post after this game.
You never know. Maybe there's going to be a post with the opposite way, asking for Patron to be buffed.
I just saw Trump survive against Life
Coach's
Coach's
with
Warrior.
my opponent's health pool if there's too many taunts?
Yeah, that seems like a reasonable
There's
problem.
a lack of interaction in this game.
All right, well, that is pretty dominant for Nihilum. I think they're up 3-1 now. And isn't Trump benched?
Yes.
That's a
you are
big
correct. Life Coach won, and Trump's been benched, which means Dog or Kibble have to play, which leaves him Warrior, Rogue, or Priest. And that's not exactly a very versatile lineup.
Yeah, well, we'll have to, the Warrior, if it's Patron, it can't win against anything. The Rogue, the Confidence, you said, can win over anything. The Priest, I think, is just a versatile deck overall. I don't think they're that punished by being benched in this situation.
I mean, it is one thing that it's...
Makes sense.
Okay.
Oh,
I think
man,
our
3 cups of OJ for Crypt.
numbers are wrong there. Oh, wait. No, the
I'm taking
numbers are
Ragnar's.
right.
I'm taking Nostromo.
Wait,
Division in 15 seconds.
Trump just won.
Oh, yeah, he did.
Oh, what are you talking about?
I was just missing the OJ. You fell for it.
Okay, you guys are confusing me because I thought the score was wrong, so it was 3-1 based on what we were talking about, and then turns out that Trump won.
I'm AFK.
Okay,
I'm better now.
Okay, I'm just gonna drink orange juice here.
All right, so it's 2-2. Totally evened up. No benches. Trump's happy.
Yep.
And we all suck at casting.
Oh,
Except
pineapple
Strife Girl.
juice.
Is it? Oh, yeah, it is.
I called it out, so I actually mitigate myself from the blame here.
Whew, I feel pretty good after that. All right, well, Trump won with the handlock.
Mm-hmm.
So, life coach.
Life coach is the one
He's
threatening the
the
bench.
being benched. Yeah.
All right.
I guess now that your opponent's handlock's out of the way, what deck gets more freed up because of it?
I think
Patron, right?
Patron, yeah. I guess life coach plays
Salt.
Patron.
Yeah, but I mean anything can happen.
And if you anticipate that, then Dog should play Rogue here.
Does Rogue beat Patron though?
Oh, if you ask a Rogue player, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
But if you ask a Rogue player, it beats everything.
yeah, but like,
I
okay,
really think
on a
Rogues
realistic
legitimately
yeah.
think they can beat Patron.
Rogues
It's very
can
close.
out-tempo it.
I feel like it's very close. I'm actually not sure what the official stats say.
It has to be close to 50,
We're gonna
though.
have to get the monk stats.
No.
I'll text them right now.
Okay.
Oh, really?
Sure.
All right. But yeah, it feels like the Rogue, especially if you're running weapon-heavy stuff with Blade Flurries, the Patrons, they can't really pull off the flood the board garbage that they can against so many of the other
That's true.
aggressive decks.
It basically comes down to Patron playing a control warrior against Rogue. Because
Right.
Rogue has a very limited amount of minions.
Mhm.
So, and with the new Patrons playing the double shield blocks or even single shield block, I've talked to a lot of the patron specialists, and they say that in this matchup, it's definitely possible to play like a control warrior and just
Too
kill
much
every
armor.
single minion
Mhm.
that Rogue plays. Since Rogue is very minion light.
Yeah,
And then
but I
just
think
out-
they've been favoring the Shredders
Mhm.
more often
Yeah.
still. It's
Yeah.
still like more consistent because, of course, the Violet Teacher tokens, it is their way to win with damage, but it is their way
Yeah.
to lose with frothing.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think the Vile Teachers might be out. Like, I talked about not facing Rogue like ever on ladder.
Mhm.
I don't even remember the last like
Mhm.
Vile Teacher Rogue. And the last
problem
few
is-
probably were like Shredder
I mean,
ones.
the Rogue is actually like the Violet Teacher tokens is actually how you fight back against a lot of the Paladins.
Exactly,
Mhm.
exactly. That's
Which
what I
is
was gonna
like
say.
so the weird
Yeah,
catch-22.
because the Paladin is also a really
Right.
common deck, and
Uh-huh.
the Shredder is the one that's the bad 4-drop in that
Mhm.
matchup, whereas
Mhm.
the Shredder is the good 4-drop against
Yeah.
the Warrior. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's like hard. Maybe that's why Rogue isn't super helpful on ladder, because you
It's too
actually have
polarized.
to make that. You have to make that decision. There's no way that's
I really thought the Rogue was coming in for some reason, but instead we have Patron Warrior versus Freeze Mage.
All right.
Another fatigue game, boys.
Well, the last time Tice attempted this, it did not work out in his favor.
looks
He
like
was
we're in for a long game.
he was around one full health pool away from killing his opponent.
Yeah, I think he got his opponent down to like 45 HP.
And I think you actually almost need the coin to beat the Patron Warrior
Yeah,
as a
You get
freeze
that
mage.
extra fireball.
Yeah.
very
He
quickly.
coined the Scientist to try to get the early damage in and make up for that fireball,
Yeah.
but he didn't end up doing it.
And maybe it's like one more fireball there. Against 80 life. Ultimately, that was
80
not.
life.
That's not the. That wasn't going to be
Yeah.
the break point on our last.
Like, you're in
game.
denial if you thought that was the difference in your life.
But it does help a lot.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah. This matchup comes down to Patron also being able to play like this new control warrior style.
Poor Tice. He's queued up like the Freeze
Patron
Mage for the
Warrior
first
twice.
time in your series and hits the Patron Warrior.
Mhm.
You have to make sure that happens again in your series if
Yeah.
it gets that far.
And that's one of the weaknesses of Freeze Mage. It's a deck with very bad matchups
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of okay matchups.
Yeah.
So
I mean, it's also got some pretty good matchups against the aggro if you can anticipate it. According to Crypt, it doesn't lose against Secrets Paladin.
According to Crip.
According
But
to
he
Crypt,
doesn't know anything.
I cite you as my primary source, 2015.
I'm not the last time.
Yeah.
I played like 10 games. That counts.
Yeah. I mean, you are completely valid to speak your opinion as if it is fact.
Yep.
On the internet.
Yep.
You play 10 games.
And we're still on the internet.
That's right.
All right. Well, I kind of wonder if Tice will try to play us differently. If he'll just play no card draw.
Yeah, it's really interesting because the Freeze Mage is so reliant on having like Thorson hit a bunch
Yeah.
of minions, a bunch of spells.
Mhm.
So that way you can not only deal with the minions but burn. But if you're not drawing cards, you're never going to get to that point.
exactly,
Mhm.
exactly. What the Patron Warrior's card draw is very flexible in Battle Rage. So what you are technically supposed to do as a warrior is to kind of match their draw. If they draw a lot, you kind of keep up so you can control their super combos with Emperor. If they don't draw a lot, you kind of don't draw a lot either. So I guess that's what it comes down to. Tice does decide to just play the block instead of Acolyte, but that's because he wants to Acolyte ping next turn. So
And it's okay. I mean, ultimately, it's more the onus on the patron to just not draw cards than you to not draw cards because that's just part of your win condition.
Yeah.
But the patron has to be the one delicately making sure that they're drawing cards to keep up in parity, but then also make sure they don't overdraw.
Exactly. But if they are able to manage that line, it becomes pretty hard for the freeze mage since the armor.
It's hard
super
for the
armor
freeze
combo.
mage.
Yeah, especially if you can get the Emperor before the armor combo.
Look how much damage that is. That's insane.
Yeah, he's got
I feel,
2 war songs.
I feel like
2 whirlwind
if you do
effects.
enough damage in one attack, you should just punch through Ice Block. You know?
Like there's like a
If you do like 30 in one attack,
threshold.
yeah.
This is actually a really interesting hand because normally you play this matchup like not really worrying about Frothings and the damage, you just out fatigue them. But with this hand, like say Dog doesn't play this Frothing here and he just plays Emperor next turn with War Song, 2 Frothings, and some Whirlwinds. I wonder if you can just like kill Ties randomly.
Probably. I think someone said that the most damage that you can do with Warsong, 2 Frothings, and like and like a Dread Corsair. Back when Dread Corsair, and you can like push the limit without killing. Frothing was like 42 damage.
Okay.
So like, if you could get that all in one, then yeah, you can.
And with Patrons, it's much more though.
Yeah, with Patrons is more.
You need
but
some interaction
you need,
usually.
like unstable goals to be able to bump into stuff
Mm-hmm.
and implode.
Well, maybe not. You could have like
Two
shield
whirlwinds.
slams on your unstable ghouls.
Yeah, that's true.
We could just have 2 Whirlwinds.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. 2 whirlwinds plus the death. Well, no, death bite would kill you too.
It killed Frothing.
Yeah.
That would be the
No, 3
over.
Whirlwinds is fine. You just can't have 4 Whirlwinds.
Yeah.
Well, the 3 whirlwinds plus the unstable kills.
Oh, there's no ghoul on top of
Yeah.
no
Oh,
ghoul.
okay. I thought you were saying unstable
Yeah.
ghoul would need to be part of it.
Okay.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that's gonna be
Like Tice
Very
can't even reach fatigue in this one.
Yeah, he might just be dead because there's Flame Strike is very awkward. You can't just leave up a 5/1 Emperor. You can.
no,
then,
but he can Blizzard Ice Lance.
Mhm.
But that gives up his damage, so that way you can't reach. But this is not a game that's going to be about reach damage.
This is not a
It's
game
surviving.
about winning,
About
actually.
surviving.
It's not even about winning.
It's about whether or not Ice Block can actually stop a Frothing Berserker. And we're about to see it scientifically.
Yeah.
It can.
Blizzard Ice Lance is interesting because it allows Tice to both freeze the Frothing so he doesn't die to it and kill the Emperor. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
it seems like that's
I like that
probably
play.
going to be what happens here.
No, it's probably going to do
Oh,
a
okay.
cheesy
Frostbite
Doomsayer.
That also makes sense.
He is able to play double Doomsayer,
Doomsayer
which makes it
Frostbite.
very hard to kill.
That's actually really interesting because there's almost no way that Warrior will actually make the ultimate sacrifice and blow all the executes on the Doomsayers.
He basically have to combo the Doomsayers or have double execute.
Yeah, exactly. Because you usually are very careful with executes in this matchup. One of the ways is that you lose is you burn all your executes on Doomsayers,
what?
and then you can't answer the Archmage.
What
So-
if you Deathspite Overwrite, Battle Rage for 4, and then attack with the next Deathspite to prepare for super combo? Is that just 2 all
You
in
don't
at this
even
point?
want to draw that much cards. I think 4 cards. You mean play both Deathbites this turn?
Yeah.
Like a Whirlwind. But I think that's too big of a battle.
This is
rate
2
in
all
this
in?
matchup, yeah. I
Mhm.
feel like you just let this board go and just play the armor game from here on.
I do like hitting with the Death Bite this turn to set it up, but I guess it's still really one of those games where you don't mind taking your time.
Yeah.
Also, that's a really good Emperor Thor's hand. He just drew 2 unstable
Yeah.
moves and a Grim Patron.
He even has a 0-cost slam
Yeah.
for
That's
that extra unstable ghoul.
Extra unstable ghoul damage and AoE.
I think if Tice just plays his obvious play here, Emperor,
He dies.
at least the block is gone, probably.
Right? He doesn't actually die.
Yeah.
Oh, we haven't empirically
Because
tested this.
Dog doesn't have Hype's hand with the whole double armor smith
Yeah.
mass armor gain, but he does have the damage hand, with like the double ghoul plus War Song Frothing patron hand. So
Does Ice Spirit keep him alive?
yeah, without the minion to bump the ghouls in, it's not that much damage.
But he can slam his own.
Yeah, it's still probably around 30 something.
But he doesn't have Deathbite Whirlwind either.
Mhm.
And that's gonna be.
He doesn't need it. He has 3 whirlwinds right now.
I feel like Dog should just not play these ghouls and just wait for a minion to be played.
He
I would
has
say
ghoul-
maybe just set Despite here, attack face.
He has ghoul, slam a ghoul, and then whirlwind. It'll trigger both ghouls for 3 whirlwinds.
And there's 4 minions on board. So that's 2, 6, 10, 11.
There's no way you're getting enough damage without playing the patron.
15, 19 damage. Yeah, I think he's right. He's enough mana to do it.
Without the actual patron as well.
I only count 19 damage max, and I think that's like pushing the limits.
Yeah. I wonder why Dog is playing this ghoul here. Like, I can't feel it contributing very much. It's a 1-mana ghoul, very easy to play from your hand.
I think he just feels it's not threatening enough to get killed.
Okay. Makes sense.
Is it because he can't play his full hand next turn?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
4, 5, 6, 7.
No, he can.
He
Yeah, he could have played it.
Oh, that's something that he also is afraid of too. If his opponent has Alexstrasza next turn and starts going aggressive.
That's just another body.
Yeah, so once Tice plays a minion here,
One
whether
creature.
It's a body that's very resilient.
Yeah.
Whether it's Emperor or it's Alexstrasza, Doug should be able to suicide all the ghouls very easily. He even has a free execute. Is it free? No, but
no,
he can execute whatever.
It's
I feel
whopping
like
1.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't really played Patron enough to know exact breakpoints, what all the damage is. I know actually some players play Patron enough where they actually just know in their head like how much damage this is.
Yeah.
Just, exactly. So
with enough practice, you just remember all this
stuff.
stuff.
But it's pretty. I feel like Ty's gonna lose his block here.
He can, but is that really relevant? Does that really lead to the win? I feel like you just control the board until fatigue. You might even do like a defensive combo. There's just no need to play it this way. Like you are at 40 life if you just use your hero power.
If you burn all your Armor Smith.
Huh. Okay, so now he can play Patron with his Frothing Berserkers.
He can do that like 30 life gain.
Yeah,
maybe now you can do both, kill them and get 40 armor. Who knows? Because now you have the Armor Smith with your combo.
Hold on, okay. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 minions on board. So every whirlwind's 6 damage. If he gets 2 whirlwinds off, 3, then that's 18 damage.
Like 20
but then the patrons copy once, twice, 4 times.
So you have like an extra. It's about 22 armor maybe.
He can play. He can right
play
now.
that.
Dog has enough mana to play Warsong, Frothing, Patron, Armor Smith, Ghoul, and have the Ghoul on board. And that seems like a lot of damage and a lot of armor. Mm-hmm. Whatever it is, it's a lot of both.
He definitely has like round.
There's no way to play Warsong now. You have no time.
There's
now.
a rope.
Yeah.
Oh man. Okay, he had like 30 damage, I think. But the thing is, it's supposed at like 31. So like I just like estimated it. Because here's the problem: because the patrons might actually just get a cap of how many times it spawns, and you might not have enough board presence.
Yeah.
Are the stats in?
Monk says Rogue is favored 52%.
Oh,
so that's pretty much a 50-50.
Yeah, look at that.
It's won 34 games and lost 32 times.
Alexstrasza is coming down.
The moment that this Alexstrasza goes offensive, Dog really doesn't feel bad about going all in. Because one of the problems is if you went all in, then the block procs Alex defensive healed.
And he could have Alex and blocked
wait.
in some cases.
He definitely had the ice block pop last turn.
I feel like it.
Because the patrons can each attack. I didn't even count that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, of course. So he had way over.
No, that's what I mean. Like, the patrons all attack. And if you roll in enough, then even the ones that died, the other ones...
I was counting just pure frothing damage.
That's how I was wondering why you're even counting it. Because it doesn't even feel that close to me.
Yeah.
The patrons attacking.
Okay. Well,
so this is the super turn.
This is Tice's depression turn.
Yeah.
He's gonna need some medication after this.
This is like the lethal while getting 40 armor turn. Oh, it's not quite gonna be 40 armor, but maybe like 20.
Yeah, probably like 20 armor. It'll definitely be a blowout. The armor smith, I mean, could he have one? Could Tice have won if Dog didn't have the armor smith? I mean, he did draw frost.
He still needed a lot more.
He doesn't have Archmage yet either. There's only 15 damage in the hand.
He had only like 23 health.
Yeah, there's a lot of damage in the hand.
Dog's roping on the patron right now. He's doing the correct plays right now. He started at the start, so he's playing perfectly, but Playing perfectly may not be enough.
Yeah, he actually just has to go for it, hope that he has enough.
Did he miss the,
wait, what?
some attacks?
Stop blocking the view, execute. Yeah, he had enough. Oh
Whoa,
my god.
Did it proc? Oh, damn it,
Hearthstone
it
is-
proc. I thought
But the
maybe that was the punch through, you know?
Okay, so everything worked out fine. Dog
hit
could
so
have
hard.
played a tiny bit better in the sense that he could have gotten down to 1, but that's not a big deal. Also, he technically didn't have to execute the Alex Raza, which might actually end up hurting him a lot because there's well, he has another execute, I guess. You do need that execute for Antonitis, which he has one, so I guess it doesn't matter.
The Flame Strike plus the heal bot.
He can actually freeze everything and clear the board. He has to ping one of the patrons, Frostbolt the other one,
Isn't it better?
and then Blizzard.
But I think it's better just to Flame Strike and heal bot here.
The problem is
I
you need
see.
to heal here, right? Because you die to the weapon.
Okay. No. I missed the flame strike. You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
It's only because the cost reduced. Normally this is way too expensive.
I wonder if Thais can actually somehow win the control game, but with the execute, it
Yeah, the,
seems hard.
the second executes is pretty big. Like he got rid of. That's like the key. You save the 2 executes for the big threats that if you go unanswered, you can win.
This game might still go on for quite a bit, actually.
He has only got 41.
Yeah,
Dog
but
does
Patron
have
can't
enough
kill
burn,
the freeze
though.
mage either that fast. Patron
he
will
has-
eventually win by just armoring up enough.
Yeah,
But it'll
he
still
has
go
he
on
has
for a
Warsong
long
and
time.
Patron and 10 cards,
Mhm.
and right now he has a lot of turns. He can answer the Archmage. Dog is face palming, but I don't think you really. Oh, what? I think 3 damage a turn is just fine right now.
Ultimately, it'll go okay because as long as you can somehow still kill the Archmage, which you can with Whirlwind Execute or just even attacking it.
I think you should just wait. Like the only threatening card this game is the Archmage.
Yeah,
And you should just wait
it's like
until that's
maybe
played.
missing some experience in the matchup.
But
It seems like from his facial expressions, he's like having some, like not some happy moments, but he should still feel confident in this game.
Yeah.
By just keep arming up, and he knows that he's already killed Alex, and he knows he's already killed Emperor. So realistically, all he has to do is kill the Archmage. You know what? How many? But with the whole Emperor for Thais, how many fireballs does this Archmage get? 3?
He gets 3 fireballs, but the thing is, Tice doesn't have to do it. He can like double fireball now with the Mad Scientist and ping, and just like start forcing it out of his opponent.
Is there any way where that's enough damage with the 3 extra fireballs? That's 18 more damage.
I think you want to just go now because there's a lower chance of executing.
There's
there.
some
There's
chance
no
that-
weapon
yeah.
developed.
Exactly. We do know there's a
you're freezing
whirlwind
the face
execute.
anyway.
There's just some chance that Antonitis sticks.
Yeah. Does Ty still have the Blood Mage? Because
Yes.
with all
Yeah, he
these
does.
cheap spells, the Blood Mage can threaten, I think, 3 extra damage. Blood Mage plus 3 fireballs in the same turn.
Yeah, maybe.
That's all. It might actually be enough damage. Let's see. There's 5 fireballs.
That's
5 times
30
6 is
damage.
30.
And it's supposed to have 29.
But there's
Oh,
armor.
second armor.
Wow, this game is actually really close. If Tyrus has the Pyroblast,
Yeah.
which he doesn't, I think.
You
Still
sure?
his whole deck.
It's
Hyped
you
had the
saw his
Pyroblast, I
deck.
believe.
Or is that hyped?
Hyped had the Pyroblast.
I can check. I think Ty's actually
Oh, so what did Tice
Tice
do?
doesn't
The double
have-
loot order?
Yeah, Ty's has double loot horror and Healbot. He actually doesn't have Pyroblast in his deck, unfortunately. The Pyroblast, if he had Pyroblast,
the
he
armor
actually might have had enough.
Okay, so he doesn't want the armor smith just to get destroyed here.
Yeah.
It's worth more than 1 armor, and that's fine. Eventually,
Yeah.
he will draw into Patron and Warsong.
I feel like this is all of Ty's damage. Like,
yeah, but
literally all
he
of
also
it.
has like the Mad Scientist, which might be really relevant if he can get that to just attack a couple times.
There's a Fire Axe, though.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
one
that's
time.
true. You're right. You're right. You're right.
Once.
Yeah,
I,
once.
0 times.
Which-
attacked
I mean,
into.
Attacked into.
It's important that he
Still
even
two-
draws
still
the,
2
the,
damage.
the second dice block too.
Mhm.
He doesn't want to just die from the hand, right? So the Mad Scientist
Yeah.
is important. I think it's
Yeah.
also important that he's just hero powering every turn. So if
Yeah,
you're playing
exactly.
Scientist,
There's no
the
point in just
3/3.
dumping all your fireballs. You
Yeah.
should at least weave in hero powers.
Mhm.
So it makes more sense to play Mad Scientist,
Put
hero
cheaper
power, and
fireballs.
then just play all the fireballs.
Also,
you
the
can,
Mad Scientist actually
probably.
pulls out the block, which might be useful.
yeah, the ice
It might
block
give him
is-
another turn against Patrons.
Maybe save your cheap fireballs in case you get Blood Mage.
But what would that do?
It doesn't
get
Haven't you
one more.
Frostbolt twice?
So then you just fireball once and hero power them.
Fireball once and hero power, maybe?
No,
You
he's
just
dropping
throw
double, I
both.
believe.
Loses like 1 damage in a long run, kind of, but it's faster.
Right.
So
The fiery war axe here will chop it down.
how many
No,
damage
it's
is 3
not.
fireballs? 18 damage. 19.
Yeah.
If he armors up, oh wow, there's almost lethal here. He's 1 off lethal if you count the 2 blood mage damage.
But the armor smith.
Yeah, okay. So,
Yeah, so he's still a little bit off.
this is actually a very close game. And the funny thing is, if Tice actually had the Power Blast, he would probably actually win this game. Because it's enough damage.
Yeah. Dog is like calculating if he can get away with hitting the mad scientist
Or interaging.
it.
He's only got
Oh,
6
fatigue.
cards.
We
He
can't forget about
doesn't. He doesn't
fatigue.
want to draw too much.
What are... Can we see like every card count?
6 to
on
5,
the,
6 to
5 on
5.
the...
Yeah.
And it's gonna be
Mage?
4.
He's at 4 because he's going to pull Ice Block here.
What about the warrior?
6.
Warrior's at
So he's got, Warrior has 2 more cards in his deck.
6.
But some of those cards really suck. And he has Acolyte in play, actually, which is
Wow.
relevant.
You're right.
Oh,
But
so if
then-
you start pinging it, maybe you win the fatigue. If
Uh,
okay, so we know that Tice does not have any more
21,
Doomsayers.
22.
He did the double Doomsayer. So the
Right.
Frosto Doomsayer won't happen. He does have a Blizzard though, and a Cone of Cold. I think a Cone of Cold.
Do you want to kill the armor smith now so it can't get a lot of value if you have to blizzard and stuff?
He only has 1 card. I don't think it's really threatening that much.
Ultimately, you'll get more damage by trying to draw to fatigue out the warrior, maybe to try to ping the acolyte.
Ping the acolyte.
So I guess you Frostbolt.
those
Oh,
armor smith,
yeah,
and then you
start
ping the
pinging it down,
acolyte,
maybe.
and then you just fireball the face one time. That's reasonable. I mean, now that's dogs. Is he blending a second shield block?
A lot of the Warriors have been. I don't imagine Dog has been too creative to play a new deck like
Although
this.
the interesting is, Shield Block doesn't actually give you more armor if you're in fatigue.
No,
Yeah.
that's not helpful at
Because you
all.
Shield Block, you
Yeah,
get 5 armor,
right.
but then you
Yeah.
start fatiguing faster.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure how that works.
Well, one thing that he can do is try to set his opponent to 1 HP
And then,
because he doesn't
Yeah.
have heal bot and he doesn't have
yeah. Tice is
he doesn't have
completely
Alex
out of
Strauss.
healing.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Alex Strauss and Heal Bot are gone.
So
Is there a barrier left?
yeah.
Oh, Blood Mage does also
No,
draw you the
barriers
card.
have been used.
Okay.
So the Blood Mage ping the Acolyte and then you double Fireball the face.
You have no more direct damage past it, so I think you just do it.
Can Dog get lethal somehow here?
But can... Oh, yeah.
Patron, that's lethal.
That is enough.
To proc the block.
Right. But that's good enough, because there's no more healing, there's no more
Yeah.
blocks, there's no more damage prevention.
Well, wait. If you proc the block at 3, and then say...
I think you just maybe clear you.
What?
Just like freeze, or maybe he has a good blizzard depending on
Exactly.
how it turns
Yeah,
out.
he has a
Freeze,
blizzard.
if Dog if Tice loses block at 3 life and then he just blizzards, then how does Dog really deal the last 3 damage?
Oh, he ends up just passing. He doesn't want to draw an additional card to get the fatigue.
Wants to save it for burst.
I think this...
Is Dog gonna get lethal here?
Yeah, I think
Doesn't-
this
Oh, saving
slowdown...
Yeah, he's waiting for the
This
fatigue.
slowdown makes it so Tice can't really win. I think he's shaking his head. He realized Tice has no more win condition.
Yeah, Tice maybe should have even done the Blood Mage last turn just to develop the body or something. Oh, but he died even faster.
No.
Looks like Dog will win this game on the ice block turn, on the fatigue turn.
Right.
Yeah, this is it. Last card.
Oh, yeah.
That
That's
is a
not gonna do
bad
anything.
last card.
Yeah.
So his goal is to do nothing. He can't win.
Yeah, he literally can't
There's
win.
actually like no way to win. 'cause he's
If
just behind
both
himself.
players disconnect, the game would actually award Dog with the win.
Yeah, because he has lethal.
Right, the fatigue.
basically.
The fatigue would tick faster.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that wraps up the game here, and Value Town takes a much needed victory here to take the series edge 3-2.
And what a relief for Dog. You can tell, like, he's doing all right with Patron today for sure. I think he's actually maybe 2-1 with the deck.
Yeah.
Um,
It's been
but I
pretty
think he's
complicated.
still feeling yesterday's pressure rounds
Sure.
with that deck. So every time this deck wins is a huge relief. You can see it in him.
All right. Well, that means Tice he's down, right? RDU and Belief Coach are still the only ones remaining here. Because RDU was relieved. Just trying to like remember what's happening here because the series.
Yeah, well,
is
let's
going.
take a look at the decks and matchup here. So Tice just lost with his
Oh.
mage.
That's an important win for Value Town because they get the
Yeah, they
one
get that triple
mark.
check mark.
First class.
First class. That's true. We have Druid, Priest, and Rogue. Still a pretty big question mark on the Rogue, but
I like the Rogue.
I kind of share the confidence a bit. I was doubting it a little bit, but the Patron Warrior is still there. It can win against that. I think it can It can do okay against the Handlock and the Druid. The Freeze Mage, I think, maybe a little bit tougher.
Druid's actually pretty good here, too, because Handlock and Freeze Mage are 2 good matchups. And then Druid versus Druid is, at worst, even. And then the Patron Warrior is reasonable.
Yeah.
So I think the Druid here from Trump is what you can expect.
Druid should pick up a win at some point fairly easily.
Yeah.
It seems like all the decks can, like, all their lineups are fairly close where, like, any deck can win any matchup.
Right.
It's just who picks up the wins first, kind of. There's not a deck that stands out here that's, like, unwinnable for any matchup. I guess the biggest problem now that I think about it is the Priest. Because Priest is bad against Handlock, probably bad against Patron Warrior, not super good. Dragon Priest is a lot better than the old Priest against Patron Warrior.
I think it's actually alright against Patron Warrior.
It should be alright, but still probably not super favored. Priest against Mage, Freeze Mage is very bad, I feel. The Dragon Priest, just because you can't really clear the Doomsayers.
That's true.
Pain and Vol'jin.
We've seen some pretty close matches, though, but I think you're right. I think the Freeze Mage does have the edge. But I think the Druid matchup actually might be Priest favored, because the Druid just can't catch up from those huge boards.
It depends on Innervate, I feel.
Yeah, but you can't even grind them out. You really need Innervate.
If you get the Innervate, you just, I guess, like Snowball early.
Right.
That's what it comes down to, probably.
Right.
Yeah. So I guess it still seems probably the hardest deck here to pick up a win eventually is Kibler's Priest here. It's kind of weird because Kibler's been just crushing everyone, so he'll most likely pull it through at some point.
I still feel like the Freeze Mage has a pretty tough time as well. It's not great against the Priest, and I think it's actually kind of bad against the Rogue and the Druid, especially because the Rogue has 2 heal bots.
I guess that's probably the Nihilum's like weak point as well. Yeah.
Here we go. Mage. Here we go. Rogue versus Handlock. We get to see who has the edge.
I actually think it's probably Warlock favored just because it's a demon handlock and not a regular handlock, because Mal'Ganis invalidates a lot of lethals.
Yeah.
Especially coming from a Void Caller.
Yeah, it can be the case for sure. And there's just a lot of threats that you still have to deal with. Like, you don't, as a demon handlock, you don't lose any of that edge of the big threats that Rogue has to spend 3 cards removing.
Yeah.
And you're still able to keep it up. Like, turn 4 threats are a big problem. But the Rogue, I mean, he's already seen Life Coach's deck in its entirety. He knows that there's no, like, Acidic Swamp boost to watch out for.
Yeah. I mean, the way it works is, like, Rogue usually can deal, like, Rogue usually doesn't really want to sap, like, the first minion that comes out. Like, they're more important later. And that's, like, the extra punch that Void Caller gives you.
I bet he plays all 4.
Yeah.
I think he plays 2 Teachers, 2
Probably.
Treasures,
Seems to be the case.
2 Heal Bots. What he could be cutting is a 1 Farseer and then, like 1 Fan. Although, with the prevalence of Paladins, I generally like 2 Fans and Rogues nowadays. Just because you want to kill those mustards that much more. It's like super dire.
Yeah.
It's really Void Caller that's really hard in this matchup.
There really isn't that much room in the Rogue deck, though, if you want to play all those cool weapon combos and stuff. He has to be missing something, right?
Yeah, I mean, generally the flexible spots are like, if you're playing 3 drops besides the SI7 agents, like the Farseer, for example.
Yeah.
How many 4 drops you have? How many 5 drops, honestly, too? Because some people ran like Harrison or Sludgebelt.
Even like Fan of Knives sometimes.
Yeah, Fan of Knives is a cut. I personally don't like cutting Fan though because of Paladins.
Yeah.
It's like...
Well, there's a sap. Yeah. I feel like whenever you see Rogue win against Handlock, it's saving saps or just having a monstrous weapon that just nothing needs to be sapped.
Sometimes both. And like saps don't do anything by themselves, but when you get a teacher behind them, or even even Shredder just like hitting face every turn, it's like those things are just super scary. 1 Fan, 1 Farseer, so nothing out of the ordinary.
This deck might have 35 cards.
It could, realistically. And if he plays Burgle, it actually does.
Oh, wow.
That's actually the perfect draw for Life Coach.
Yeah.
Because now he has 2 4-drops where you can coin 1 out. You don't really want to coin out Void Caller and then play your second Void Caller because then you don't have any demons. Rogue can actually like usually kill the first 4-drop that comes out with things like Eviscerate and Backstab. Yeah. That's why the Void Caller is so scary, because you can't really kill the Void Caller just because you don't really know what will happen.
Yeah. I mean, you could sap that target, but you're generally right.
If you sap it, though, it doesn't really... Like, any 4-drop can get sapped, so...
The clock begins, basically. This is the stage of the game where the Warlock starts punching face.
Yeah.
Right.
And I feel like Rogue wins the late game if Rogue can, like,
get there because Blade Flurry is so strong. They can play around Moltens very easily with all the bursts. It's just ultimately it comes down to how well Rogue deals with the first 4 drops.
Okay. I generally don't like playing Teacher up against the Twilight Drake. There's a lot of ways for it to get answered, and you know that Teacher is one of the main win opportunities to win. So I think the Shredder is like the most important thing here.
Shredder actually trades pretty well the 4 drops as well. They don't trade very well into the Shredder, I guess is what I'm going to say.
No, they don't trade. Nothing. What trades well into Shredder? Sludge Belcher?
Oh, they're Shredders.
Flame. Yeah, that's right.
Abusive dudes is really the best.
Sure. Explosive Sheep.
Mm-hmm. I wonder what Life Coach is really thinking about. I mean, he really just wants the Dark Bomb, you think? I feel like you just have to play this aggressively as the Warlock.
Just play the Void Caller out?
Yeah, I think you play the creature and start grinding.
Go face or start trading? Probably
Face.
start trading.
No, you don't care if that trades against you and you're threatening more damage.
It's very scary to leave out Rogue minions. Ultimately, you want to clear them, but eventually...
This early, though? Like with 5 mana,
Yeah.
how much damage could you really take?
Well, it builds
You
up.
can take a lot. Alright, Mech Warper, pretty average in terms of the expected result here.
Yeah.
Alright, defensive play from Life Coach.
Okay. Drake is... It's good. Just keep up the flow of cards. Like, one thing that Rogue often does is that it expands its hands so much to try to gain board control that it often uses 2 cards, maybe even 3, to remove.
Yeah.
And then you just have no cards. So having the Drake keep up the amount of cards in your hand is great. Having Sprint as a backup is also good. He's going to definitely need to benefit off of a prep soon, though, because prep is
feel
going
like-
to help him get back in.
I feel like Dog has this game under control, actually, because I actually really don't like Life Coach's turn 4 where he tap and Dark Bombed. I feel like you really need to push out the second minion. Like, if you look at it from this position on, it does feel like Dog can kind of drag this game out into, like, the late game where, like, the prep oil Blade Flurries start really becoming active. Just because he didn't get that extra minion on a turn that it really mattered. It feels very...
And
it feels
the
too
mill.
close now.
There we go.
Yeah. I feel like, yeah,
What are we
that's-
gonna lose?
I really dislike that move.
Yeah, I mean, this is kind of what you do. The sap is to help leverage.
Oh, wow.
Not a bad
Yeah.
card to lose.
Yeah, those are what I like to call Blade Flurry fodder.
Well, I mean, that was just Shadow Flame
Yeah.
target if you wanted to use it, but it's not the best. Well, I guess here you can
Play it
Mortal
again if you
Coil.
want. Yeah.
Yeah, Mortal Coil first, I suppose, if you want to see the draw.
Maybe you Mortal Coil the 3/5.
Yep.
Oh, I think you definitely Mortal Coil the 3/5.
That's pretty scary.
If you want to play around Sap, I guess you could hit with the first Mortal Coil, but you just don't want to draw, see what happens here.
It makes... well, I don't know. What makes the most sense? You almost really even want to play Emperor here. Just because you'll be able to dump your hand really quickly.
Oh,
after
yeah.
Emperor.
Emperor's
But it
a
feels
pretty
so
viable
bad.
play.
to
It's
leave out
really
Teacher.
scary, yeah.
It's a viable
You have
play.
AoE. Maybe you do it.
Well, yeah, you have the AoE, and if he does have like an oil combo, it's not that likely to even land on a creature that can attack because of the Vile Teacher.
Okay. We've got to go
gonna ahead
quickly.
and play with Minion
Void
now.
Caller. That's interesting.
I think he
a little bit
really
more
wants
dramatic.
that Lord Jaraxxus to trigger. He thinks the saps are gone, and he thinks if he can taunt up Lord Jaraxxus,
Yeah.
he's going to save a ton of health.
The second sap is really important for Dog now. Like, he can't just throw it out willy-nilly just because he feels like he wants to get board control.
Yeah.
In fact, what's the best way to deal with this?
There's no dealing with it.
Maybe you won't. Maybe you will. Some profound
Wow.
stuff.
I was not anticipating that.
All right, dealt with.
Yeah. He showed that Void Caller who's boss. You're going to step in my board. Gonna whack you with my wicked knife.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
just,
really
he just
looking
wants to
quite
set the
well
trade.
here for life.
Yeah, of course. It's just like we expect some kind of big dramatic thing, and it's
Yeah.
like, nope, I'll just tap it.
It's really nice when someone trades their Void Caller on their turn, so then you have your turn to deal with what comes out. It feels really awkward to kill on your turn, and then you have to kill something else.
But it feels scary though at the same time because then they get to control the outcome better.
That's why the card is so good, I guess. It's like either way. This is actually really good because you can't Hellfire. Like if it was a 3/4 what you can do is Hellfire and then trade in.
Yeah.
But because it's 3/3, you have to trade in then Hellfire.
Yeah.
But then whatever comes out gets hurt.
Yeah, I think that was the primary motivation as well.
Very smart play.
It's a very intelligent play.
Very, very good play.
Which puts the Drax at a 3/12 instead of a 3. You know.
Oh, there's another Void Caller. We don't even know which one would happen.
No, it's the Drax. Yep, so it's a 3/12 instead. Good counter from Live Coach to recognize that he'd actually have 2.
Wow, that's a really tricky play regarding cards.
The sequencing was good.
You
Alright, so...
You don't want to sap that Jiraxis right now.
Yeah, but you can eviscerate the Mountain Giant.
Ultimately, Draxus isn't gonna kill you that fast.
Yeah, so you
as
just
long
leave
as
it
you
on the
can
board a
deal
while.
with the Mountain Giant, which you can eviscerate with the Drake.
Ultimately, Dog is just trying to cycle through his deck until he gets the perfect combination of burst cards. Pretty much like
which is seen
oil.
none of.
Yeah.
Absolutely none of.
Prep oil,
Blade Flurry, and
Maybe a
ideally
poison,
the
yeah.
Charger, the 2/1 Charger
Right.
Sassy deckhand. It should be perfect.
As if he's playing it, though.
Yeah.
I think a lot of the decks just have to play it these days. It just provides so much more reach if you can't put a creature down on the board.
Okay. The sprint is also going to be really useful, but the Draxus can get taunted now.
Basically, Dog needs a turn where Life Coach doesn't have like a high damage minion. Unfortunately, it looks for him that
not
that turn
gonna
won't
happen.
ever happen.
This is going to be defender play, right?
Yeah. It's going to be the
Still
case
so much power
where
on board.
if Dog has to sap Drax, probably didn't even do that. He might even sap the Void Caller. But like you have to do 9 health worth of
Well,
damage to Jiraxis.
maybe he sprints here finally. His hand's not looking very
It's
good.
true. I mean, he's also at 27, and he's not being threatened very much with that board. He needs to develop like a huge board clear to actually take care of this.
But he's drawn most of his minions. He's about to hit all of his
Burst,
weapon
right?
buffs
Yeah.
and his
Yeah.
preps.
In a way,
where it
that's
gets
good for
crazy.
him to draw those cards, but then he's still very far behind tempo-wise on board.
It's so weird. Like if that was any other like big taunt, you'd basically want to like get rid of Jiraxis by sap and then kill the Void Caller. But if you do that, you know what's coming back.
Sure.
Yeah.
I think maybe you can take the opportunity to re-dagger here. But the problem is you still don't have your weapon stuff, so maybe it's better to play Thanos so you can draw.
Has Dog gotten
no.
any preps yet? I feel like
No.
preps is
Zero
super
preps.
important.
No
for now.
oils.
Zero
I
prep,
think
zero
the
weapon
deck
buffs
Yeah.
at all.
He needs to cheat on his mana, basically.
I mean, he has backstab. That's one way to sort of cheat, but that's about it. I think Thanos, there's a case for Thanos, even though it is spell power, just because you haven't hit some of those really important cards.
It might just be too important to keep for spell power, just because he has like
True.
the fan,
He has a
the
fan.
flurry, the backstab. So he might be just setting up for a board clear next turn and then trying to draw a little bit later into the oil combo for lethal.
Wow.
That
That's
is a
good.
very good follow-up to the
Void Caller.
Void Caller.
It's the second best card he could have drawn.
10. Mount Gannis being the first.
Yeah. Well, those are the only 2 demons left in the deck.
Yeah.
How scary does this position look from Life Coach's perspective? If it's not scary, probably just play the
Yeah.
Dr. Boom and go for it.
It's like you're holding so many cards.
Yeah, exactly. But there's a lot of taunts, which is
But Dr. Boom is also pretty good because if it's behind taunts, like the little boombot guys, often how you die is a big blade flurry and an oiled charger.
yeah,
And the boombots might just kill the charger.
exactly. We'll see what he decides to do. It ultimately depends how safe he feels here. Whether he's gonna, I guess.
Yeah. Boom is the
taunt
best
for that,
threat, too,
yeah.
because the flurry will end up making the boom bots hit back.
I feel
And it
like
can even kill whatever charger.
one really major card I haven't seen in this Demon Handlock is Lotheb.
It's gone from the deck. I feel
You think so?
too much stuff. Yeah.
I feel it really helps some of the matchups because you don't die to burst.
Is this a board clear? I think it is. So, like, you play Thanos, backstab the Dr. Boom, you dagger. You Fan of Knives first. Oh, wait, the Fan of Knives, if it hits the Thanos,
Yeah, it
is
might kill.
clear? I think it is, yeah. It still is. No, it's not. Drax might survive.
The prep.
So this has to dodge the Thanos twice.
Ooh, double 4s too.
Oh, wait, no, now he has prep. He can actually just SI the last remaining thing.
Man, you played Rogue a lot.
Well, it's actually the deck that I'm playing.
Yeah.
So He can.
Yeah, he can
Technically, he can
Deadly
clear
Poison, Prep,
Yeah.
Fury, and then
leave up a
SI.
Doom Guard,
Yeah.
basically. Because you can Deadly Poison, attack,
Yep.
Flurry, then use the SI to kill the Jiraxis.
Correct, but he has to prep first.
Yeah,
He might. He has to go quick.
I feel like it's too late.
Oh, he's shredded.
Oh.
That's a mistake.
Uh-oh. Yeah, I think he might have played Shredder instead.
Oh, he just flurried.
Yeah, he missed. He missed because, this is what happens a lot. You end up playing so fast that the cards shift. And this happens, and Dog went too slow, unfortunately.
No, he didn't even attack with, so...
He didn't attack with a weapon.
He didn't even attack with a weapon, so he wasn't even trying to play
okay, you're right.
that SI, yeah.
So he was really hoping that his opponent had no demon, then. And
Right.
He was gonna hope
I think that's a reasonable assumption.
It's reasonable, because if he attacks here, he has to play that SI to kill it. But if he doesn't, he gets to play Shredder.
Fair enough.
There's no point attacking it,
Yeah.
taking more face damage, I guess, if you don't get to clear it.
Well,
Dog's actually not dead.
no, but he could have been. Like,
He could have been if he
four
was-
four damage is absolutely
basically
realistic.
It's basically Mal'Ganis.
Yeah.
Instead of the Doom card, you
Oh,
lose.
yeah.
Oh yeah, that's
And
true.
if Dog actually attacked the Draxus before Flurry, he would have died unless he played the SI as well.
Right.
Mm.
He's really hoping that if he gets oil on the second run here, on the last draw, he might be able to turn around on board.
Do you think Life Coach will pressure here with, or heal? Looks like he's healing. He feels far enough ahead.
What do you think the pressure play is? Just the giant?
Probably the Drake
Thorson?
and then the Thorson, which is a strong body still.
Okay.
I feel like maybe the giant and then the Drake would have been a little bit more, just because it's more health on the board and you only need to push for 4 more in a lot of cases.
Bowling Guard Lieutenant. So he saps the Drake,
Whoa.
tries to buy some time.
Why not sap the demon?
Doom Guard? It
Yeah.
just comes down for damage next turn. Doesn't it?
Discards a lot of stuff though.
But I think he's dead by doing that. 'cause
Oh,
there's
is he just
12, there's
dead?
12 damage on
Probably
the
dead.
board. There'd be 7 damage on
Oh yeah,
board
you're right.
plus
You're
the
right. You're
fives.
right. You're right. He would just die. He would just die.
5, 8, still 4 off. And there's multiple minions on the board now, so maybe you just Shadow Flame.
Yeah, I feel like this is a really great
Seems like
Shadow
a really
Flame.
clean one.
Yeah.
He needs a Shadow Flame for 3, so the Healbot's an easy Shadow Flame here.
Yep. And that should seal it. I don't
There's
know.
only
if we
one
can-
prep left. There's just not enough mana to do stuff here. Maybe a heal bot will buy you another turn. Maybe you can prep sprint into a heal bot.
Yeah, there's just not enough. There's just not enough. Wait. How much health did Dog have left? 4?
I think so.
4.
Oh, okay, so he couldn't even take the Twilight Drake hit. Because if he did, he actually had a board clear there too. He weapon up, oil, flurry, SI,
Yeah.
and then he could clear. But the problem is that he didn't actually have a follow-up. So tough stuff, but that's kind of the way Rogue can go. And I think Life Coach made it very complicated for Dog to get some good turns as well.
It really felt like Life Coach kind of played defensively the whole game, but in the end it panned out just fine because Dog wasn't able to draw any of the finishers while the defensive plays were happening.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can see that.
It's full control.
And one of the things is, like, maybe Dog doesn't even have the South Sea Deckhand with all the cards we saw. You're joking about the 35 card deck.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
South Sea Deckhand's a major reason why the matchup is not as bad as it seems in the first place.
For
so
sure.
if you do cut
Right.
the South Sea Deckhand, it could just be a very bad matchup against Handlock at that point. So
All right. Well, it is 3-3. It is tied up.
Halfway point, boys.
No, it's more than halfway because they can't go 6-6.
okay.
Well, all right. So halfway, we just passed the halfway.
We
point.
just passed the halfway point.
You
Yep.
feeling strife? You feeling it, strife?
I'm tired.
You're tired.
Yeah.
You need to swap in.
Yeah.
Have ECOP or Calento swap in. For
Yeah.
you.
Yeah. Here at the Archon house, we
maybe
get like
guard
free
if
food.
has to as well. Huh?
We get like free food, so people overindulge.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the ultimate
That's how they get it.
strategy. Be wary if anybody from Nihilum or Valleytown offers you some In-N-Out burger, Stripe Girl.
Okay.
They poisoned it.
I don't know about that, but yeah. You don't want too many of those.
Can always go on the fruit diet to prep up for the game.
The Crypt
The
diet.
fruit and veggies.
So like literally what they do here at the TLC is like, Crypt, we didn't know what to get you, so we got you fruit. They give him like a big bowl of pineapples and
You liked
strawberries and stuff. Yeah, it was alright.
Yeah, it's alright.
Yeah, I've had the strawberries aren't the best, but it was alright. But
Well, they're not from California.
no, the California stuff's good.
Yeah. All right. Well, as far as the game goes, Life Coach gets a win for his team. Pretty good stuff. The bench rule doesn't really apply much because Valley Town has that nice triple check mark. Even if Dog wants to play Rogue again, it really doesn't matter if he loses at all.
Mm-hmm. And now that the hardest matchup is out of the way for Rogue, maybe that queues up. At the same time, Hamlock escaping from Druid is not that big of a deal either. But say like Dog goes up against Freeze Mage here, and then he loses, and then Druid's all of a sudden lost its advantage.
That's true.
So I would be comfortable with the
it is a lot based on that. You're right for identifying it. I think the Rogue is okay. I think probably the only matchup that has less than 50% is the Freeze Mage. It's still close to 50, but I think it's slightly less than the other two. Yeah. And you're really looking for that.
Yeah, and I think this is the anticipation that they wanted for Druid versus Druid.
Oh man, Trump versus Dice, the Master Druider.
Can Trump out-Druid the Druid Master?
Can he draw Wild Growth before Dice can draw Wild Growth?
Well, to be honest, sometimes it's not even Wild Growth, it's Innervate. Innervate gives you the tempo early on.
Druids really lack that removal, so it often does have the same effect. Against some other decks, it often has a punishing effect.
But Tice has Wild Growth.
Told you. Best Druid.
Trump?
Nope.
No, and you know what? Tice also has Darnessa's Aspirant, and he also has a slower Druid deck, too. He has got the Ancient of War, which Trump might not have. This is the first time we're seeing Trump's Druid, though.
Yeah. Ancient of War is pretty good in the mirror. Lose to Dr. Boom pretty badly, but other than that,
I think there's some chance you just keep all of that.
Most cards lose to Dr. Boom pretty badly.
Do you consider keeping the Ancient of War here?
No.
You need heavy cards if you're going to keep double ramp.
Yeah, but I feel like it's even better to go for Ancient Lord to fill your hand back up.
Just try for something playable sooner.
Yeah.
Darnessa's Aspirant's not guaranteed ramp either. It's more of a forced response.
That's true. It's very hard to hold your Aspirant until turn 7. Yeah. It's like it helps you ramp for your like 4s and 5s, but probably not 7s. So
you usually have Aspirant as like a way to force your opponent to wrath it and miss his mana, and then you can capitalize on other things too.
And drop the Wrath. Was Tice the one who dropped the Wrath the last time as well?
Wrath doesn't really do much.
Wrath is generally a bad card in Druid Mirror. Now that
kills
there's
the Aspirant, though.
It's a little bit new, but he had his own Aspirant, so maybe he could just Hero Power it or something.
Okay. And now that Tice does have 5-drop, there is merit to coining out a ramp here.
Yeah, he's definitely going to coin a ramp. He's thinking which one. I would go for the Aspirant. Even if it gets Wrath, you can just Wild Growth.
You can Wild Growth.
So it doesn't really hurt you. If you coin out the Wild Growth, there's no point, right? Because you have 3 mana extra and you're still playing an Aspirant.
Right. And you don't have that flexibility.
So you might as well just play your minion first, I feel.
You missed the damage.
Yeah,
you just don't have that flexibility to counter your opponent's Aspirant either.
Yeah.
I don't know. It feels like both times Thice had the Wrath opener, and both times he kind of got punished by it. Like, it would have been good to have a Wrath here, so he wouldn't lose his Aspirant right off the bat. He'd actually punish Trump's hand big time.
You can still do the same.
Well, Trump's the one that is slower. Oh!
Hey,
look at that.
I like people downstairs.
No, the Aspirant's still better, isn't it?
Yeah, the Aspirant's better because it challenges the other Aspirant.
Is it? I like the Wild Growth because, you can't kill your opponent's Aspirant, so you can't really deny this Mana Crystal.
Yeah, but if your opponent, you don't really want to be playing Keeper of the Grove anyways, just, as a 4. You want it to be able to... if you have to, you can use it for board, but generally speaking, if you play the Aspirant and it ramps successfully, your opponent doesn't Hero Power, then you can play your 4 to gain the board. If he does, and you can still Wild Growth and hit your 5.
Yeah, it triggers a Hero Power response or a Wrath from the opponent.
Yeah.
That's everything. But then if he has that, you're not in a good spot.
Okay, that's fair.
So I think I like the Wild Growth better.
Yeah, I guess the problem right now is then you're not really contesting Tice Aspirant, and Tice still has something good to do.
So he Wild Growth twice.
He's going to 5 next turn.
Yeah.
And then he's putting up Druid of the Claw to protect it.
Yep.
Unless Trump gets the Wrath, then he can
What is
play
Tice thinking about? There's one card with a green glow, and it's a really good one.
I can't imagine you Hero Power here. I can't comprehend.
Oh man,
that would be the most. Maybe he's faking his opponent out, making him think that he has a Shade versus a Wild Growth.
You could just be role playing as Life Coach.
Okay.
Okay, now I think this hesitation is to mess with Trump a little bit, because Trump is a player to read into these things.
Yeah.
And if he's like, okay, I have a Shade as one of my cards, or that kind of thing.
Shredder, very good pickup. Probably the best card I could draw on this turn. Other than Wrath, maybe, I'm not sure.
I think Wrath might have also been.
Wrath would have been better if you consider the hands, just because there's nothing Ties could have done if he lost the mana. But
well, the Keeper's going to come down and kind of challenge this board, I believe. Like, do you really want to keep going with this mana lead on your opponent?
Azure Drake is also fills out the curve.
Yeah.
And you can Force Nature next turn if you need to, or you can use Keeper.
It looks like I would play
That's
Azure
kind of
Drake
true.
here
Azure
just
Drake
because
does work with the Force.
Just because if you kill an Aspirin here, like say you silence and trade, the Tie still has 5 mana. Druids have a lot of good 5s and 7s, but not a lot of good 6-drop minions. So I think what you can do here is play Azure Drake and next turn fill up your curve with Aspirant and Keeper, and on that turn kill Tysus Aspirant, so that way you lock out the 7-drop.
I like that. I think it's really good to really play with his mana crystals that way.
Because next turn you still have the Keeper, or you can Force Nature. You have 2 options, but it should allow you to kill an Aspirant before Tyus gets to 7.
And the
Swipe might make
like,
it a bit easier to do that too.
Yeah. The Azure Drake provokes a response as well. So Tyus will trade into that and hit. That leaves. It's a pretty good Force of Nature. It's like a really sick Force of Nature.
Yeah.
Honestly.
This is actually a good, perfect Force Nature. You have to kill the Drake, because if you don't, then swipe, right? So,
yeah, swipe just butchers you.
Yeah, so looks like that will happen. Force Nature seems way too good compared to Keeper.
Well, you can swipe here if you want to save Force of Nature.
Oh, that's true. Swipe actually does the same thing.
Yeah.
Well, you take
Swipe
4
does
damage.
Almost the exact same thing. I guess you take 3 damage against your hero powering.
It's true. I don't think the 3 damage is really that
And it's pretty important to have Force Nature for Savage War later.
Yeah, it's a good one. And now the 7.
The ramp is down.
Yeah, this is super important because turn. Oh, okay. Well, nice top
that's
deck.
not good.
Nice top deck.
Is it?
Oh, but it's not even that good.
Yeah, it's not. You need to kill that creature.
Yeah.
This might be a turn if
now you
have the living roots, maybe.
Yeah. Unfortunately, you still play Drake here. If you get Innervate, you're lucky. Otherwise, you still play. Wow, he's going for the value game.
Interesting. But the thing is, something still sticks out to the Shredder.
Yeah. I guess he gets to do an extra wall growth with this move. I just don't feel the wall growth matters that much.
Okay, well this is something that Tice does take some roots different from most people.
Well, it doesn't matter on his next turn, but it matters on the turn after that. He can hero power again, so that's pretty nice. Oh, no
Uproot.
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 Riot.
Alright, well Dr. Boom comes down.
Pretty good against Ancient of War.
Can you ignore the Dr. Boom and just go aggressive?
It does seem like it's... Oh, wait, there's no swipe. I was thinking you could trade 3-2 and swipe.
The swipe would have been better to save here, funny enough.
Yeah.
Force of Nature isn't quite as useful.
Oftentimes swipe is better. Swipe is a very good card.
Often it is, but I think it's rare that it is against the Druid.
Yeah.
I think it's the Druid Force of Nature is usually better to clear.
It's a hard decision.
Is it too risky to simply let your opponent deal with the trades? Play like another.
I think another Ancient of War, and then keep her the.
You have 11 mana next turn
Boom.
for 10 damage burst.
Yeah.
So that way you can draw the claw.
You could just go for it here, right? With all the damage, just don't even innervate out hero power.
Yeah, just
and then
save.
Just face everything.
Oh.
Wow. With all the minions, so he's playing this conservative.
Always
style,
lucky.
So.
Dang.
Gonna hero power down the line. He's scared of Savage Roar. Savage Roar, the 1/1s get a lot of value.
You're right. The Savage Roar would
punish him a little bit.
very hard.
But yeah, he's just definitely going to.
He wants the Dragon or face.
That's the big thing here. That's actually not bad because it's swipe. But the big thing here is that if Dr. Boom trades in, he has a Keeper to deal the last 2 damage with this line. To kill a 7/2.
This is pretty awkward.
Yeah, this sucks. There's really not much you could do. There's not much you could do besides play your own Ancient of War, actually.
Right. Yeah. That's too much damage to be taking if you just play something else.
The Drake swipe isn't really great here. Another line that's fairly reasonable, I think, that Tice actually might take is play his own Druid of the Call and taunt for him and swipe one. And then trade. Because that way you actually get to remove one.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true.
That's a pretty decent line. It forces the Ancient of War to bump into something, and then he could get Dr. Boom twice value to hit.
We know there's a keeper, but doesn't know that.
Oh, you're right, the keeper. So keeper, and that gives him enough mana.
Oh, the innervate. Now he
Hold
can
on.
hero power down the 4/6 with keeper and still have mana to play the Druid Claw.
Yeah.
Is that what he wants to do, though? I feel like he can just force and keeper with Innervate, and that just clears everything.
Yeah, keep it.
And you have a 9 health taunt then.
No, this is he still gets to clear everything with this.
Yeah, but he keeps 9 health on the taunt.
Yeah, but he gets to help another minion.
But it's like instead of keeping 4 health on his Ancient of War, he gets a 4/6.
Exactly,
which is like pretty good, considering that. This plays around like the keeper the growth.
You're playing your
silence.
slower stuff first, also and your fast stuff later. Like especially if you top deck Savage Roar, you still have the combo, and also you play your slow minions first. Not even charge.
Yeah, charging is okay. Like I think charge
It's
or
up for
taunt
lethal.
kind of doesn't really matter, but
Combo, that might be good.
that lets him clear.
Yeah, it does allow him to clear actually.
It does take 5 damage in the process, though.
Yes, he has to take 5 damage in the process.
So he would be dead to a swipe or...
Swipe force.
Or
Savage Roar.
Roar.
I feel like that might be his best chance.
Wait, swipe has been used twice on Trump's side, hasn't it?
No, it's once on Tice, once on Trump. If Trump plays, or if Tice plays the Ancient of War, can he also survive? His opponent did use Keeper just now.
Yeah. Something interesting is that Trump has actually had 2 Ancient of Wars, huh?
Yes. Ash Rifco writes it down on his iPad. For scientific
Need
use
to get
later.
that.
Get that info.
I just realized
You gotta
it.
save that silence.
Yeah.
Alright, well, his best chance is... I mean, he has a pretty good hand after this, relative to...
Yeah, he can taunt up, he
Tice
can
could
draw, he can
definitely win
heal.
this game still. If Trump blanks out here, we'll see. It all comes down to this.
Oh.
Because the Ancient of War.
Yeah, the Ancient of War is pretty
Once the
huge.
Ancient of War comes down, you're like locking out so much damage.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, until Trump draws a Savage Roar again,
Roar,
and
then
then
you
your
can
opponent
just-
can still kill him.
Yeah.
Yes, you absolutely
So
kill.
actually still close. What if he gets a swipe? Oh, big game here a little bit too late.
Yeah. No, Tyson's the one who played Dr. Boom, right?
Oh,
so
yeah.
he's not going to BJ.
Swipe is
Boom.
1 off lethal, I believe. 2 off lethal because you can't hear power.
If Tice had top deck to swipe, he could Azure Drake into swipe here. I don't think he can go for it now. It's way too risky.
Yeah.
But this Ancient of War can get a lot of mileage because you can also heal that minion if you feel like it. It's a little bit risky because of Keeper the Grove, but I think this is a big turning point here.
Yeah, the BJ's a nice touch where it improves some lethal options.
Roar!
Oh, that's bad.
Trump is feeling. Actually, I just realized Trump is feeling heat too because he's only at 16 and there's 9 damage.
9
on board.
damage. Yeah,
So from
one
Trump's
force of
perspective,
nature.
he's gonna die this turn. Like Trump has to feel like he's gonna die if he doesn't.
He dies no matter
force
what the
nature.
combo.
Yeah, but it's not just combo. It's like just little things will actually kill him if he doesn't force nature.
Tice can also draw for it too.
How
Like
can he draw?
he can use Ancient of Lore into Savage Roar, right, and then end the game.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh no, he'd be 1 off because he can't hero power.
He has
Talk
to
about
Azure
Trump,
Drake
like,
into
I
Savage
feel like
Roar.
Trump is actually going to have to force nature here and just try to
He can
that.
clear. He can clear.
Yeah, I'm saying he has to try for that because it, and then it lowers his chance to win after.
Oh man.
It's painful.
Yeah, it is. He has to actually play the Darnassus first. That's really important, isn't it?
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh, he might mess up.
Wait, are you sure? I think it's still 2 out of 9.
No. If you trade first, you
You become 1 out of 9.
become. Oh wait,
I think
I'm
it's
not
2
sure.
out of 9.
Oh,
I
let's see.
don't know. Oh wow.
I like it. I think it sets up more opportunities for lethal.
It plays around one of the combo pieces, but not around both.
Yeah.
So that's
Okay.
cool.
He doesn't
Very
need
good
to.
play.
Do you heal here as the Ancient of Lore?
Well,
You know your opponent just left top decking.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It looks like the most reasonable thing is probably heal and play the shade and trade for one of them. Maybe you go face.
Do you think you could?
See
You
what
could.
the
You
game-
said
heal.
lethal. You said
If you
lethal.
heal and then you just go face and
Yeah,
play
yeah,
shade,
yeah.
that
I
might be
think face is
reasonable.
fine.
You know that.
Although you died to
Trump's
Savage
in
Roar. You
top.
died to Savage Roar.
You died to Force of
Well,
Nature
second
as
force.
well. No,
Second-
you died to too much there.
Yeah,
You
second
died to
force
too much.
and
Okay.
Savage Roar.
Tice knows that he has the Azure Drake still.
Okay, that's gonna be
pretty,
cycled.
That's gonna be cycled, huh?
Has to be cycled. You don't win if you wrath and trade and you're not doing anything this turn.
Yeah, that's true.
You have to do more than that.
Oh. Second force was the draw. So
That is something.
Tice avoided lethal by doing that.
Trump can clear out.
He also has, like, I wonder if he's going to put his opponent, like,
Wait,
you have to
6,
kill
7,
me.
9.
Like, basically, he knows the remaining cards in his opponent's hand now. And he might be thinking that he holds onto this force of nature.
There's no way that Trump can all face here, right? He has to kill the Ancient Lord.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's no point. You actually just defeat yourself. So I think he's
Yeah.
going to be aggressive and hope that his opponent doesn't have it.
Well, I feel like Trump is just playing the same game as Vice with one turn behind, and at this amount of life totals, it seems like Vice is going to come out ahead. Well, he gets a
March of the
redraw. He gets a
Aspers.
redraw though.
Yeah.
Okay, you get to draw something.
The Azure Drake.
Oh,
Wow, that's
not it.
pretty okay.
How
for the
many
Manic
Force
River.
Natures does Trump use?
2.
He's used 2. He's used 2 Ancient of Wars, 2 Force of Nature.
There's no
It's actually
6 damage,
unlikely he
right?
dies, yeah.
Yeah.
So probably
You can just play out everything.
Trade. You have to trade. If you don't trade, you'll
Trade
die.
the shade. There you go.
It's okay. Even if Trump hero powers, then
Yeah.
he still can't. He takes the 3 damage from
Yeah.
the shade still.
I don't know if this hero power is consequential.
I feel like you play the Aspirant. You die anyways against the Force of Nature, even though
Right.
there's not any
The
life.
third Force of
It's
But
Nature.
like 6 and 7 is not any different, right? Druid has a lot of ways to deal 4
7,
damage and a lot of ways to deal
11.
6 damage.
The thing is, if you don't play this Aspirant, you don't threaten lethal.
Yeah, I don't see why
You'll be
Tice wouldn't play
2
this
off, I
Aspirant.
think. Because you'll have 11, 12 damage next turn. Your opponent will hero power once.
You also lose a lot of pressure if Trump gets like a
no,
Druid
you'll be
Claw.
1 off. You'll be
Well,
1
what
off.
is
if you hero
Tice thinking
power.
about here? Like, well, if he doesn't play, I don't see why you would not play the Aspirant.
He's just counting. He's just.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been a long day for
Yeah.
Nihilum. They've been playing so many games, and if they win this series, they're gonna go on 1 more.
Oh my god.
Oh,
Wow, Wrath for 1 keeps him
that's
alive.
pretty good.
This is
Yeah,
okay. This is
yeah,
starting to
but-
get crazy.
Do you need? No, you have you used 2 swipes?
He's
No.
used 1 swipe.
No, maybe he needs to use it on the Darnassus.
The Savage Roar. Wait. If he gets Druid the Claw,
Okay.
then let's leave.
He's not dead, right?
No.
3, 5, 9, 10 damage. So Trump is not dead.
Tice needs 4 more damage.
Tice
which
needs a top deck.
his second swipe.
Why
or
didn't
his
he?
Druid Claw.
Why don't he Savage Roar there? Because if he gets a swipe and
Druid
Tice gets a
Claw.
taunt.
To Druid the Claw.
Oh, no lethal.
There's no lethal. So
Yeah,
Alright.
but
Here it
if
comes.
that would have been a taunt creature
Yeah.
and Trump got swiped, then
You're
he
right.
would have
yeah,
lost
you're,
it.
you're
something.
correct.
And with Druid of the Claw, it's still the same damage.
It's
Maybe
still
it's
the
things
same.
like Ancient Lore heal or something.
Maybe.
Where you need the extra damage from Savage Roar.
No, he'd still be off if that was the case.
Taunt.
This is another chance
Charge.
for Trump. It's 4 damage.
No!
No!
Dr. Boom won.
Wait, can you Shredder? No. Wait, he can Shredder.
Yes.
He
Kill
can
the Shredder?
Shredder. He
No.
can Shredder.
No, but
for
you die.
Doomsayer.
He dies.
die.
He dies.
It's a hero
Because
power.
he'll be at 1.
No, you can. Oh, yeah, right, you can't. He can't play Dr. Boom and pop the Shredder. What if he got Doomsayer and then killed everything with it?
But then you'll be at 1, die to hero power.
Basically, you needed 2 more mana to get Doomsayer and have the 2 Boombots kill Tice.
Yeah.
But he doesn't have 2 more.
Yeah.
Doesn't have 2 more.
exactly. Oh,
GG.
Dr. Boom just came a little bit too late for Trump.
And it is not Doomsayer.
Actually, not that bad of
No.
a card because Druid would be hero powering. What a crazy back and forth game.
Super, super close. Great plays from both players. And, well, in the end, Tice just edges out just ever so slightly. But it could have gone either way there with some draws from Trump. We know
Yeah.
at least of the swipe and the Druid of the Claw. I think there were one of each of those.
Maybe even a keeper with a. I think it would have done it. Like 3, 4.
Savage
No,
or
no.
No, Savage Roar was
Because
3
we do
damage.
one off,
and
right?
It
One-off
was,
keeper.
yeah.
Pretty close.
He needed 4 more damage, but
Yeah, I think that was the only way.
yeah. Wow, they're really doing it. The comeback
Oh
boys.
my.
Can they do it from all the way in the quarterfinals?
From last...
Like they were 3rd place spot,
Yeah.
which means the most games possible in this
Right.
tournament. Can they do it from that to go to the finals and even win? That's
Maybe we'll get a wish.
Strucker
to
will
play
say
everyone.
no, but yeah, I think
Yeah.
it's possible.
you're gonna have to face if this continues. You're gonna face like a war torn like Tice just aged 35 years and grew a
A
beard.
ragtag band of warriors.
Yeah. It's like the movie Fury or something. Like they're like in their last tank and trying to survive.
Well, they haven't got it yet. It is 2 points left that they need to get that 6. And those last few points are the hardest ones to get. Though in this situation, maybe not so. The Patron Warrior, piloted by Life Coach, seems to not have had too much trouble recently. And Freeze Mage, well, maybe some trouble there.
Freeze Mage is still going to hit some weird matchups, but yeah, I guess now that Druid's gone, just play whatever you want. It really doesn't change much. I guess the Priest still struggles, like you're saying.
I don't know if the Priest struggles. The Priest is like okay versus Patron. It's okay versus... Yeah. I mean, you saw the Gar game. Gar played extremely well.
Yeah, but Tubbs also got like awkward draws during that game.
Gar got awkward draws during that game.
He did too.
Normally the Priest just does a bunch of damage or draws a lot of cards at the start, and Gar did neither of those things. He just pressed the end turn button 4 times.
It's true.
So that is the big difference. Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
As far as the Rogue, though, again, that's another wild card. And there's so much RNG involved in these matchups and decks. It's just we'll have to see how they pin up against each other and maybe narrow it down a little bit better.
I'm digging I think the Rogue. Actually, the Druid again has like the best chance against both these. If you're anticipating Patron, though, maybe you can sneak out the Rogue. But I think Druid has the best overall field percentage. Percentages against the field game.
Yeah, it is pretty good against both decks.
Yeah.
How neck and neck is this? Nihilum goes up 2-1, then Value Town goes up 3-2, and now they're up 4-3.
I think Nihilum's very far ahead now, looking at the matchups.
Are these last few points just much more valuable than the first few?
I don't think so. When it comes down to like a deck that actually like has no good matchups anymore, it could be very hard for Kibler to pull out the final Priest win.
Oh, it is Rogue versus Mage. This is, I think, a slightly tough matchup for the Rogue, but absolutely not impossible.
Yeah, the Rogue actually has no incentive ever to attack with like its big built-up weapon. So you can have like an 8-2 dagger, and you just like wait for the final deadly poison. Okay, now we go.
It's just most combo decks that do like a huge amount of burst just get countered by Ice Block as a card. So usually the game is won when you just have stuff that gets a little bit out of control, and the Mage is just always behind on tempo. But if you get kind of those hands that fizzle out and you're not really having those tempo mid-game turns, you just lose automatically.
Yeah. I think the key is to see... Oh, he has Loatheb. Okay, that changes a lot.
That does help a lot
The
to try
Loatheb
to counter
is
the second block.
Really powerful to time. And it's not even about countering the second block. Just, I mean, you're right. It can also come out to make sure to make the second block hard. But, like, you realistically could build up enough damage by, like, turn 7 and then just threaten to kill if you can get oils and stuff together.
Oh, wow.
It's a really flexible card, the Loatheb. If you pull far enough ahead early minion-wise, you can just slam it at some point and lock up the spells.
Well, there's Emperor and Antonidas. They're the players again.
Yeah.
With the trophy. Someone's taking that.
Some team is taking that.
Someone is taking that temporarily, I would imagine.
That's true. Or maybe they leave it here, just kind of like as a Stanley Cup kind of thing.
All right, well...
it's really powerful. You follow up the teacher with a prep sprint, and then...
Probably. You really just hope this sticks, but I don't think it's going to. I mean,
fireball it.
You don't have to do that, though.
You should.
Because you have board clears.
I think you should, though. Like, you don't take this Fire teacher lightly.
Yeah.
The 1/1s, if you think about it, it's like as if every spell summons more minions for damage. And it's like if you ever underestimate the 1/1s, just look at Muster for Battle and just like look at how much that can do.
Yeah, especially with prep sprint and turn 4 rather than like drawing cards while developing a board at the same time. Perfect.
Okay, so he's got oil, he's got deadly poison, something that he can legitimately like start building because he has. Like, he just needs to have a minion stick. Which you can also even make a case for, like, Loatheb. Loatheb will almost ensure that a minion will stick. So that way you can put an oil on it. So there's, like, a lot of versatility to making sure that you can get the oil damage in.
Sap is also a really interesting card against Freeze Mage. If Freeze Mage has one of those cards, just has too much card draw, you can often just kill something with Sap, and it's really funny.
Yeah, actually, it gets to that point, too. Like, you can hit the Acolytes and the Loot Hoarders and stuff. For Tice's spot, he's going to be looking at making sure that Like, Ice Barrier is pretty important because they're most likely going to do 20 damage from weapon flurries and stuff. And, like, freezing the face doesn't really matter.
Mm-hmm.
But the Ice Barrier is basically negate that weapon damage. So they have to make it up through minions.
Well, what to do here? You don't, like, you kind of want a creature to stick, and Lotheb's always going to stick, but it feels like such a waste to actually play the card right now.
It's, like, okay if you Lotheb and backstab, but SI is also fine too because it gives you a minion and you get to re-dagger. Like, ultimately, as long as you're keeping something on the board, it's fine. And this does somewhat challenge the Thorson next turn.
Is Thorson good enough to play right now? You kind of just have to pressure the board, so you never really mind it.
This is a terrible Thorson hand. It's like, where's your burn? Like, I guess you have Antonius Frost Nova.
Yeah,
that's about it.
And you also can just draw into 2 mana worth of spell later on.
Yeah, but like the things that you're never happy to make Thorson cheaper is like secrets. You rather just have Mad Scientist.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you spend 2 out of your 8 cards just making yourself stay alive longer. You want to have the actual meat to the bones, like the Frost Bolts, the Ice Lances. And so Tice, yeah, I agree with him. I don't like using Thorson there. 2 oils. Now, that's a lot of damage. If he can just, like, Deadly Poison, oil, and then just attack with the SI now...
You can just do the 1. It seems fine. It's just a lot of damage just to get the mage a little bit lower.
But don't attack.
Welcome back, Strefko.
Yeah, Strefko stepped out for a break. And, we'll actually get someone else in just a second here. The SI 7H... Like, again, you're going to have to make up for about 20 damage or so with minions. Your Blade Flurry will be hitting for around 10, maybe even a little bit, or maybe even a little bit more if you have spell power, but generally like 20 damage.
All right, well that's a spell that it can hit, and it's not too bad a one if you do Emperor Thorson here. But you don't really want to take this 6 damage again.
No, nor do you really feel like Flame Strike is something you can toss away easily.
Maybe it's just time for a Frost Nova Doomsayer to take back board control, and then just do a clean Emperor next turn.
Yeah, you can actually Frost Nova Doomsayer and then ping, and then that gives you the opportunity of, like, if he just chooses to do, like, a sprint again, then you can just ping that down without having to worry and play Emperor. That gives you actually some flexibility.
I think that has to be the best play.
The only problem with that is there's no guarantee that, like, your opponent can just load up with, like, more annoying minions like Shredder. And that's actually a good time to Lotheb, too.
Yeah, Lotheb would actually really screw him over here. But he does still have the block up, so with Emperor Thorson down, Alistraza could come down, and then you haven't procced the block, and this is the disaster case, actually. I think because of the disaster case, you have to save Lotheb to follow up against Alistraza.
Yeah, now that Thorson's been dropped, the rules change a little bit. It's like, all you want to do now that Thorson's been dropped is to not play Lotheb on his Alistraza turn. That's like the only time you don't want to drop it. Now, you can make a case before and after, but basically now you should not drop Lotheb, just in case he drops Alistraza on 8. And then you're like, oh, wow, that was a waste of a Lotheb.
What about just, like, Sap and Oil again?
Okay, well, he's basically banking that he doesn't have Alistraza. Sap and Lotheb is basically, like, forcing him, like, basically gambling that he doesn't have Alex. Because if he does, then it's like he committed to this line, and then Lotheb actually has 0 impact.
I think he's calculating if he has lethal, but I think if he did, he missed it. I think it involved an oil there.
Here. Okay, so the flurry can be used because he has a second flurry. And he's right that his opponent doesn't have Alistraza. It's always a scary thing.
But he does have Frost Nova.
He does have Frost Nova. Oh, and Doomsayer. Oh, that's so sick. Alright, well...
If anything, this just stops the damage, which is pretty nice.
Kind of. There's 2 Eviscerates.
Yeah, that's
Shield
true.
Bot's pretty big, too. Can he pop the block?
I don't think so. I don't see how this block is being popped without him.
Yeah, he can, I think, right? He can Eviscerate twice in Blade Flurry.
Blade Flurry what?
With his weapon. So, like, he... Oh, no, that's 10 mana, excuse me, sorry.
Yeah.
I thought he had the weapon up already, so then he could have attacked and then Blade Flurried for the 12th bit of damage.
Alright, well, you never really want to sap a Doomsayer, but, I mean, hey, what can you do?
So I guess you just oil now, then, and then attack.
Yep. Start the damage train again.
Yeah, you do this to make sure that your opponent can't just freeze your face and then you're denied the 4 damage if they frostbolt you.
What a greedy SI7.
9-2. Just
He wants all the oil.
Yeah. Well, it turns out it makes you a lot of money in our world.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure the U.S. government will come after him in a little bit.
Uh-oh. Alright, well, here you actually have another Frost Nova Doomsayer combo if you really want.
Flame Strike can also make a case, but I guess
it's just nice to take back tempo with Doomsayer. Like whenever Doomsayer sticks, you get an open board Archmage.
Well, Archmage Frost Nova gives him some impact as well. I think he's feeling like he just needs to find a way.
Actually,
to get
that
back.
sucks. If he does Archmage Frost Nova, he's gonna lose because he's gonna get his proc. His block proc, and he's going to lose Antonidos at the same time.
I still like the Frost Nova Doomsayer because that gives you the opportunity to develop Mad Scientist and like ping the Loatheb anticipation for Flame Strike.
Mm-hmm.
But I can understand why you'd want to do this because he feels like he has almost no chance.
The Ice Lance makes the difference though.
Not really because of Blade Flurry though, right?
Yes. Oh, does he have 2 Eviscerates though? Yeah, he does. Okay, never mind.
The Blade Flurry
looks grim.
Yeah, and the only thing though is that
you proc and block at 4, which is not ideal, but you got to do it.
But fan, just to draw another card. Maybe he can have SI7 Agent close the gap a little bit more. Okay. So he ends up just killing the Antonidas, popping the block. This is tough for Tice. He doesn't have any freeze left. He has Blizzard. He's a Blizzard.
Mm-hmm. He has a Blizzard and an Ice block.
The fact that he's at 4 is pretty nice. And he's
he doesn't have a Blizzard. He has the Flame Strike right now.
Yeah, he still has. I'm saying he's out of freeze effects, but you know what? That's actually pretty relevant because he could Flame Strike Ping and then play Doomsayer or Ice Block or, you know, I guess if he's feeling ambitious.
I think I like the just the Ice block. Like it's hard to do 4 damage after you've seen 2 Blade Flurries, 2 Eviscerates, 2 oils. How do you do 4? You have to do it two card combos. And he only has 2 cards.
Yeah, it has to be Deadly Poison number 2. No, because you can't dagger attack and do that.
It has to be
like Deadly
SI.
SI, yeah. Or
there's only 1 SI left.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
Alright, looks like he is going to block and Mad Scientist with this play. I guess Dice thinks he can win the attrition game, and, well, maybe he can.
Yeah,
I really like the Mad Scientist over this, though.
I think he wants to just draw his Alex Straza. Like, 4 is just too low for comfort, and you need to hit the biggest minion possible.
It is, but there's no damage spells left.
Yeah.
So if you can get Ice Barrier up, that's good enough.
That's true. Fan does allow him to keep cycling. No SI7 agent. That's another turn for Tice, which could make all the difference, especially if he picks up Alex. I mean, both these guys have drawn a lot.
It's gonna be like the longest 4 health ever. It might just be 5 turns. It's possible. It really is.
Ooh, that helps. That helps a lot.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, it's certainly useful.
I think you literally can't die. You can't get your block proc right now because the only direct damage left is SI7.
SI7
and you can't modify that with spell damage.
Yeah, unless he's playing some weird thing.
Shiv or something.
Yeah, Shiv. Or if he's playing like Undercity Valiant or whatever.
There's absolutely no way he's playing that card.
No, I'm just saying like that's the only way he could get direct damage. You know what he needs? He needs a Nightblade.
Why do the Mad Scientist get played? It actually does nothing.
That's right. All secrets have been weeded out.
Right. And Dog even knows that.
So he has Violet Teacher now. So he can Violet Teacher Sap, Backstab. That gives him 4 mana. So he can play a Shredder too. That's pretty resilient to AoE. But then you give up Sap, number 2. I don't know. I'm not sure if I'd like that as much. Farseer and Healbot's pretty nice.
Wow, 11 health swing.
The thing is, like, he's not going to need it because it's very clear his opponent's going to play Outros on himself.
Yeah, we're just not playing the don't get bursted down game right now.
Yeah.
We're playing the attrition game. In terms of draws, I think even though Thijs only has 8, Dog actually has 4 cards left.
Wait. What if Tice gets enough damage to kill his opponent if he gets Alexstrasza? Like, would he draw enough if he had a... Did he use Ice Lance already? He did.
Yes, he used one Ice Lance already.
Never mind. Because I was like wondering, maybe he could draw, because he has 13 right now. And he used his Thanos? Or is that has he not yet? Because Icebox not pop, so if he hits Alexstrasza and he hypothetically has damage to burn his opponent, he might go for it. Whatever, probably doesn't have it though.
Yeah, I don't think Thijs is really a risky kind of player. I think this game has shown exactly that he's not.
This is probably Flame Strike into Acolyte. I don't know how close he is to fatigue damage though, but I think it might not matter. I think his priority is to draw.
I don't even know if I like Acolyte.
You like Doomsayer better? Just to set up for...
No, never mind, I like Acolyte.
The Doomsayer is better for an Alexstrasza setup.
It is, but... Okay, goes to Doomsayer. I guess he's scared of stuff being played.
He's probably really close to the end of his deck. If I were to guess, he has like 5 cards or less. And I would guess Rogue is the same.
Well, Thijs has 7. He had 8 before he drew, right? So he has 7, and Dog has 3. Yeah.
Okay. So Dog has 3 cards.
Yeah. Dog is the one who's really under
But he sprinted twice.
Yeah.
Oh my god, this is literally like climbing up a hill with weights on you. It's like, how do you get past
What do you
all
think
this
about just
armor?
playing a Shredder?
I mean, the Shredder is your best chance for damage here. Both Shredders are reasonable.
Alright.
He is cautious about playing the Thanos, though, because it draws him closer to fatigue. Just have to be careful about it.
Wow, that sucks.
Wow. A Druid of the Saber, which can get pinged down. A heal blockage drawn.
Yeah, that's huge.
That's really big. Now it's not like now he would be like out of fatigue range in a sense. He doesn't now he doesn't even have to Alexstrasza himself. He can Alexstrasza his opponent.
I really don't think it matters. I think you literally just dealt with every card in the Rogue deck. I think that's just it.
He just ran out of damage.
Yeah. There's literally nothing to be done here. Oh, as I said.
Well, I mean, he's still like maybe you're in the case where you don't care if the SI or if the Acolyte draws cards, right?
I mean,
No, you do.
You have a Blizzard, you have an Alexstrasza as a body. Like, just those 2 cards alone deal with the entirety of Dog's deck.
I think you just have to load up the board and go ham. 6 cards remain. 1 card.
So what's the play then?
I think it's like go as much board as you can, like Teacher, Dagger, Shredder, maybe even SI instead of it because you want SI to get.
I think you have to Deadly Poison to kill the 3/3. So I think you Teacher, Deadly Poison.
Oh, he didn't have the weapon already.
Right, and then SI.
Yeah, so SI weapon with the Teacher.
Thijs is actually counting the amount of money he's going to win.
1,000, 2,000, 3,000. What comes after 3,000? 4,000?
Whoa. But yeah, I don't see how Dog can possibly win this game. It's gonna require like Lore Walker Cho right now.
Or maybe like Vitality Totem stuff.
Oh man.
And then like
oh no, Patient Assassin could actually trade with Alexstrasza.
yeah. Oh, by the way, this is not a good draw. The second Acolyte. He needs to get Alex right here.
Yeah.
Alex could steal it.
He actually doesn't need to. He just keep going, really. Like that's okay. Whatever.
Maybe he pings.
No, he's winning the fatigue game.
Yeah, he's gonna fireball the Teacher, right?
Playing the Acolyte actually put him in a bit of trouble because he can even out in the fatigue game, and Dog might be able to heal out, but no, he has.
Right, but
unless Thijs forgot to put an Alexstrasza in the deck.
Now he has another. No, now he has enough damage to like to legitimately contest with Alexstrasza. So I don't know. I think fireballing the Teacher is still the ultimately better play because it's just removing the threats, like you said.
I like the Frostbolt too. You still have value from Ice Lance because you think you have a Blizzard in the deck.
Yeah. Wow. So Dog's on his last card. What is his last card?
Probably not good.
Another Farseer?
There it is.
Wow.
It's the last card that reveals the next card.
Just simply has not enough damage. There's no like infinite damage source. Need like Ragnaros or something. And Titus is okay with just keeping this stalled. Because, well, the key is, like you said, the Alexstrasza.
Mm-hmm.
And if he gets Patient Assassin...
counters the Patient Assassin.
Patient Assassin. No!
Oh, that's so bad.
Ooh, man.
The draw punish. The only card Dog can play hits him in the face for eventually a lot.
Cone of Cold.
Probably eventually like 6 damage.
You can lock it up with the ping. And that last card from Dog is his last hope. I mean, he's going to play it. But I guess that's it. He's just going to concede, realizing he can't pull it off.
Yeah, there really isn't much to do. That was a pretty crazy game. It looked like Tice had that unlocked the whole time, but with Rogue being so unpredictably powerful with the tempo swings, you're never really sure. Though we were pretty sure about halfway through.
It's like really dependent on making sure Rogue can get that extra damage in preemptively, and you saw that he got like all the weapon damage in, which is like 20 total.
Yeah.
Just he can't get that extra 20 or so because you gain so much life through ice blocks and ice barriers.
Yeah, Rogue just has a limited amount of damage. It's much more than before. I think before GVG, whenever Warriors run up against it, they just play basically the Freeze Mage game with the armor up every single time, and the only way Rogues could win was with Assassin's Blade. And seems to be like a situation like that against Freeze Mage these days.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we're joined by Forsen right now on the desk. Striker wanted to take a break. It's been a long series.
Understanding.
So
He's casting life coach after all, so those can tend to get quite long.
Why are you hating, bro?
What? I'm not hating.
Bro.
Life coach is one of my favorite players.
Okay.
It's just can be exhausting to cast him sometimes, you know.
It is.
And play against him.
It's nothing.
And play against him.
That's, I mean, even Life Coach will probably admit that.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of Life Coach playing, he will have to be playing right now.
The next 3 games at least.
Yes. Mm-hmm. He has to win 1 game of 3 with Patron Warrior for Nihilum to advance to the finals.
Ooh.
What odds are you giving him? Realistically.
I would say they're pretty good, actually. I would say.
Wow!
I mean, wow!
Bold statement.
Thank you for your insight.
I mean,
Carson. That
okay,
was-
so
okay.
Rogue can deal with Green Patron
It's like
quite
the guy on
easily.
Family Guy.
Right?
What's the weather like, Ollie? It's gonna rain.
It's Green Patron after all. Come on, guys. Like, so they all have fair matchups, really. Like the Rogue has, it's quite alright. It's not favored versus Green Patron if you play it correctly, but it's still alright with the Blade Flurries if you get them in time for the Green Patron. So I would say it has. I mean, it's not 50% for sure, but it's not much under 40.
Actually, Monk Stats said that it was actually over 50%. The Rogue is favored.
No, I'm talking
50%.
about the chance of him come back in this series. You know, winning all 3.
Okay. All right.
Oh no, the opposite. I mean that they win against this Green Patron 3 times.
Yeah,
so that's what I mean. So.
All right. Well, Kibler's not too happy. But what can you do?
I mean, it's not unreasonable. It's the fact that you get a curve. You have minions to play. That's such a risk if you throw away the Azure Drake and then Twilight Guard's 2/6.
I think Execute is such a valuable card because those buffed minions otherwise never exit the board.
It's true. Would you keep the Azure Drake at all, Forsen?
I mean, you have a lot of dragons actually. Like, I don't think you need to keep the Azure Drake. You're gonna get something by that turn. You don't have the coin, so you don't have the possibility to coin out the Twilight Guardian anyway. So I don't think that Azure Drake is a keep. I would go for the 3 drops actually.
You do draw 5 cards by turn 4, so it's like you have a high chance of getting into a dragon.
There's a lot of early drops as the agent and.
Oh, how about that? Life Coach just kept Inner Rage, Execute, and Grim Patron.
Yeah, well, he knows that this is a slow matchup, so.
I mean, I thought you'd keep Execute, but Inner Rage and Patron seems really surprising.
Yeah. It's kind of alright in this matchup, but other matchups you don't want to really keep those combo cards that early on. You want to go for the weapons usually.
Mm-hmm. The other interesting thing is that in the previous game in the set that we saw Kibler play his dragon deck, he drew a lot of cards and did not stumble into that light bomb that we know was in there in the previous set of games. But because they were able to change the decks, it is actually possible he did not include light bomb in this variation.
It's true. There is a possibility of it, but I know that it's one of Kibler's like more fond cards. Like, he was always talking so much about it, how like Light Bomb is one of those like format defining cards. Of course, it didn't end up being that way, but he was really high on it. Unlike like Dr. Boom and Patron, for example. which are actual format defining, and Mysterious Challenge. We get like 1%, right?
Yeah.
Pretty much. Is that the case?
Yeah.
A weapon would have been really good here.
Yeah.
He might have been regretting not looking for those War Axes or Death's Bite right now, but he still has a good amount of answers with Slam and Enrages executes. For
Is it Slam
potential
removal
crits.
or is it Cycle?
How much damage are you willing to take here? I mean, you don't have a Death's Bite, so if you had a Death's Bite, you probably wouldn't Slam. You probably would just wait and then kill it. But
That's true.
he doesn't have
Slam is
any.
okay.
Yeah,
Just slow down the game some more.
exactly. I think a Slam here is fine. He has Battle Rage to cycle for more cards,
Sure.
so a Slam is totally fine here.
Well, the Slam
He
for
actually
the
wants
Cycle.
to cycle right now.
Yeah.
Oh.
He wants the weapon that bad.
That Whirlwind is not bad at all with the Green Patrons and Enrage.
Oh man, 3-drop on 3.
Yeah, this is pretty
Hey,
good draw.
And he's got the 4, 5, 6.
Yeah.
All right. Execute though. He can clear.
I suppose so. How big is it to keep the execute though against all of this stuff? Like, I feel like against Dragon Priest, you really want to save it for the Twilight Guardians, like the really problematic taunts.
Yeah, and it's quite common to have the Twilight Guardian on turn 4. So I guess he just wants to be able to deal with that efficiently.
Well, Life Coach is really conceding a lot of damage this game. I think we've seen this so far a few times, and in every one of those times, the 2 Warsong Commanders are in the bottom like 5 cards.
Oh, really?
So he just got withered away and lost. So we'll have to see if that happens the third time.
I love Life Coach's expressions, man.
He's really confused about this
Yeah.
opening for Kibler. You got the 1-drop, 2-drop, and 3-drop? Okay.
He's so... Oh man, it's just too funny to me, man. His eyes get bigger by every turn. It just keeps increasing in size.
So he's gonna go in clear here, which is totally fine.
That's fair enough.
Did he just double execute?
Executes?
Yeah. I guess I would have just used Enrage instead, but he values
Maybe
maybe.
patron board.
Yeah,
So
Alright.
next turn he's gonna coin 2 patrons.
yeah.
Yeah.
But couldn't he have waited like 1 turn really to get a few more patrons?
I guess he didn't want the buff for the Dark Cultist in case he played a minion, because then he would have to deal with the buffed.
the buffed
creature.
minion can always
I
get
like
executed.
how
Oh,
not
you're right,
impressed
you're right.
Kibler looks right now. Is that an image right now?
I don't think so.
Of Kibler?
Yeah.
Wait,
No, he's gonna blink. In
no, it's actually frozen.
3.
Yeah. Like he's super concentrated right now.
No, he's just not impressed by Life Coach.
Did you really just double execute my whelps, bro?
Kibler went offline. All right. Well, Life Coach, back to see if he
I
can
mean,
go
this
with
this was the plan.
Yeah.
You just go for it.
Sure.
It would have been good.
Still
to,
not impressed, Kibler.
Yeah, I mean, it would have been good to keep that
Okay.
whirlwind there. It would have been a lot more patrons, you know. So,
But it would be delayed by 1 turn as well, which I don't know if you really had.
yeah, you would have taken up quite a bit of damage, but it's still priest, so they don't have a lot of burst, really.
So this tells me that Life Coach really doesn't think he's favored.
Oh,
Oh
wow,
my
that's an
goodness.
insane pickup. Life Coach is
Yeah.
not going to be happy about this.
Yeah.
He does get to recycle 2 cards
Yeah.
with Battle Rage, but it's still so bad. And he gets the
He gets
War
the
Axe
clear at
trade.
least.
Yeah.
Okay. It's not hopeless.
No, certainly not.
And another War Axe.
Emperor.
Oh, and he can Emperor the other War Axe.
Well, the Acolyte gets stolen by the Cabal Shadow Priest the
Yeah.
following turns. He used both inner rages,
Yeah,
and
so
I
you
didn't
can't
see
buff
Cool
it up.
Taskmaster, so I think
Oh, that's true. He might not have Cruel
I
Taskmaster.
think it's gonna be trouble.
This is looking not so good for Life Coach right now. That Emperor with only 3 cards next turn in hand, it's not going to give him a lot of value, especially since one of them, or 2 of them, are
Not at
non-combo cards.
But
So,
it seems fine just because it is a 5/5.
yeah.
Okay.
He's going to go ahead and recycle for his other combo cards before he plays the Emperor.
Sure.
It kind of has the same playstyle as Freeze Mage, where you want to wait until you get either Antonidas or some spells to use with Antonidas before you play the Emperor. You don't want to use it on just AoEs or War Clears.
Is he gonna equip another weapon?
I don't think he needs to. He might want to equip the Death Spike next turn, and then you don't want to waste a charge on the War.
Oh,
So.
that's right. I didn't see the Death Fight there. Okay, well, Cabal Shadow Priest will steal this,
Yeah.
and Kibler keeps up the pressure, and it's not going to stop, because it's such a minion-based deck that this is
Yeah.
exactly what it excels at.
Brute Force. Wow. Life Coach has drawn 3 weapons and 4 cards. I think
And
we need
you
to
choose 0 weapons and
realize
10
this.
cards.
Yeah. And still 0 War Songs. Are they actually there? You said you saw
No,
one.
there was. He had an opportunity to Warsong Patron, and then decided to just Whirlwind twice against
Okay.
the Zoo
Okay.
deck.
I'll believe you.
I think you were casting that series. I think you were
No.
taking a break.
Yeah.
Well, here I guess the Acolyte of Pain is best chance because your opponent already played the Cabal Shadow Priest.
But wouldn't you still want to wait one more turn to get at least 2 cards from that, though?
You're at 14. If you hit him with 4 damage, you're totally cool with that.
I think he wants to draw multiple cards with Emperor Thorson.
That is a really good draw as well. Holy Nova combined with spell power clears. Everything.
There's no executes anymore. Like I don't know how you even clear this board if you're a life coach.
You don't
Brawl.
go for the
Wow.
Yeah, I don't
I'm
think
actually
he runs
surprised
that.
they even attacked into that.
Yeah, I don't think he wants to give him more cards, and he still has lethal on board. He knows that there's no execute, so attacking into Acolyte doesn't punish him.
Okay.
Well, Dragon Priest prevails against the Patron again. There's really no way he can come back from this.
Yeah.
Just not enough time.
Yeah.
He can survive one more turn, I believe.
Yeah, but then, like, what are you
You're not
expecting
really
to do?
living.
Right.
Yeah.
You need a lot of other cards.
Shield Slam.
Yes,
right
he
now.
has 15 damage right now, the priest.
The shield, I think
You
Shield
have
Slam keeps him in.
You have to shield block and hero power, or play the armor smith in order to survive. And he's gonna do just like that.
Okay. So
Actually, he has more because that's 2 points of spell damage. There's a 4 damage Holy Nova, or it was until I kill that dragon.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But
It's still lethal.
Yeah.
Nope. 2 armor.
It's just barely not enough. Also, if he played Holy Nova, he'd give him 2
Yeah.
more armor.
Exactly.
Well, it wouldn't matter if you killed him with it.
Yeah, that's true.
Getting armor at
That's
0
actually a
health is
fun
fine.
fact.
Yeah.
Why not just arrow?
You could draw some cards here.
Yeah, drawing cards might be better.
Northshire and Holy Nova to heal everything up.
I think Northshire begins a lose condition though.
Yeah, the
Cards
patrons.
that work off a patron.
Yeah, sure, but he can't deal with other big minions, and healing everything up is pretty good. Pretty good.
Yeah, I still don't think Ysera's bad here at
No,
all.
not at all. Like, he's thinking right now, can he kill me? Obviously he can't because he hasn't played Emperor yet. So, and he has 4 cards in his hand.
Yeah, in the worst case scenario, it's Frothing Berserkers with War Song
Whirlwind.
And the ghoul, I
Whirlwinds,
think.
2 Whirlwinds.
Yeah.
That's,
He
you're
already
you're
used one
played
Whirlwind
Whirlwind.
as well, so
Yeah, so unstable Ghoul Whirlwind.
yeah, there's no way. And he should know that. Oh, he doesn't want to draw cards though, for some reason.
I think he just doesn't want to play Northshire.
Yeah,
Which is understandable.
yeah, it is.
It's fair. I mean, he's at full health across the board here, and he's still representing lethal. Okay, that's fair. Like, he just doesn't want to give his opponent any chance. In fact, his opponent would have 6 cards because of the
hello.
by draw. I'm having a very hard time imagining Life Coach being able to survive.
Yeah, I don't see. Let's see, 4, 5.
So
I mean, you
yeah.
could survive here if you
Yeah.
want, if you really want
So
to.
you see, yeah. So if you use a Death Bite, attack into the Cabal, and then equip the Fiery War Axe, play the Armor Smith, you can survive.
No.
No.
I was thinking
Armor
about
Smith into Cabal and then Frothing into Cabal.
you war song. No, you
Oh,
war
Frothing.
song. You war song and
You
you
give up
death
your win
bite.
condition though.
No, yeah, exactly. If you war song here and you run the armor smith into the cabal, you play the weapon. Wait, what?
No, this is the only way. The one I mentioned. You have to kill the Cabal with 2 creatures, and you gain 2 armor.
Oh yeah, it doesn't have mana to equip war axe. No, okay, yeah, you're right.
Oh, okay.
That's painful. That is really painful.
Yeah,
And
you're
now-
right, you're right.
There's gonna be a disconnect for true justice.
Oh, I would love to see that actually. I would love to see that.
All right.
Yeah, is that what Life Coach is holding out for?
No, it
Okay.
doesn't count anymore.
Now-
Now it doesn't count. Disconnect possibilities are off the table.
board.
All right.
Well, Kibler's done once again, finishing out. And if this is where Battle Town's road ends, finished out pretty strong, honestly. Very good performance in the finals so far.
Yeah, still a bit of play though.
Yeah.
Would you consider recruiting Kibler for the Fortune Boys for the next season?
Oh, I don't know. I can't spoil my precious.
Oh, your strategies.
Yeah.
Your potential roster.
Yeah.
You'd have to recruit Kibler's entire team though.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Oh,
They don't go separate ways.
that might be a problem.
His dog, Shira.
Yeah.
All right. Well, the score is almost evened, but when you have to win 2 games against Patron, well, it feels better than winning 3 against Patron.
Yeah. I have to imagine Dog's gonna go up here. In fact, they're high-fiving Dog, and he looks defeatedly regretful. Like he's like, I do not want to actually have to play this.
Please don't send me into life coach again. I don't want to show you guys how bad the Rogue is again.
Yeah.
So he's lost twice with Rogue, right?
Yes. He has lost twice with Rogue. Very marginal losses and really nothing he could do in either of them.
Yeah, pretty much. I think the handlock game was tough. In fact, I think he played that very well.
Yeah.
The freeze mage game is more of like a consequence of not being able to get the timing off with Lothar very effectively.
Mm-hmm.
And I think freeze mage drew pretty decently in that one. So, how do you feel about Rogue versus Patron?
I feel like it's like if you're a really good Green Patron player, you should win it. You should play like everything very efficiently when you need to play it. You need to go for the weapons at all time to remove the threats early on. But it still has like this potential to just blade flurry his gamble of Green Patrons in the start. You know, if you have that in your hand.
Yeah.
But other than that, like if you can't remove the patrons for one turn, like that turn when they are played, you usually lose that matchup.
Mm-hmm. Okay. You kind of need to just develop something on the board, trigger the patrons as life coach had to play them against the priest, wipe them out, and your game.
All right. Well, one more time. Let's try to see if this Rogue can go through. It's gonna be tough though because I feel like life coach is still playing very on point. He's the one who has all the reason to complain about fatigue, but I think he's in his element.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Dog versus life coach.
I mean, this is still a lot on the line. Like, if life coach wins this game, all of his team is guaranteed 20K at least.
Yes, you double your prize.
Yeah, you double your prize money from 30 to 60.
I mean, I know that life coach.
This is kind of like real poker.
Life coach only cares about the first place in this tournament. That's the only thing he cares about. But he still wants to, like, you don't want to let down your teammates who actually cares about the prizes, you know?
Right.
So
for RDU and
he has that pressure. Exactly. He has a lot of pressure in that regards. But let's see here. You got an Emperor. Not what you want to have in your starting hand, though.
No, not against Rogue, which is very fast. I think you still want the usual suspects. I think Death Spite's your most important card.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, you need to be able to deal with Violet Teachers and Shredders and stuff like that.
Even the Fireworks is okay.
Yeah,
because
sure.
you're running double slam, you're running some reach cards, and you know he's running Shredders. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a really good card. The Teacher has always been the problem for Warrior. That's why people started adding it during the Rogue era. But it's a bit easier for Green Patron because they have Whirlwinds, 2 Whirlwinds, so they can clear the plebs easily.
Yep, the apprentices. Life coach is really, really thinking on this mulligan decision. What is there really to think about? Is he thinking about keeping one of those 3 cards? I don't.
Yeah, he's probably thinking about keeping the Emperor.
Oh, okay. Well,
there we go. That is
a very defensive hand. Very, very defensive hand.
Yeah, that's like good against Hunter.
Yeah,
that's about it. Maybe
Paladin, great. Have you seen muster for battle into 2 armor smiths?
I have. Yeah. It's not the most fun thing in the world.
No, it's not.
It is for the warrior player.
Yeah. So he's really considering coining or using the word for some reason.
No, life coach likes to do this. At the start of the game, he really tries to think out the next few turns.
So he's wondering if my opponent, hero powers, do I do this? Do I hero power this turn? Do I play the armor smith? Do I even put the weapon in anticipation for something else? Like if he plays the weapon here, then he sets up for his acolyte the following turn.
Otherwise, armor smith would be the obvious play here. But there is not.
Is there a right play?
Yeah, I would just armor smith here because he's not going to be able to coin out a shredder next turn. So he still has 1 more turn to get that weapon out when he needs it, and you don't really coin out a 3-drop here. So
yeah, I mean, not even really like Van Cleef and stuff back in the day was coined down turn 3 unless you're trying to.
That could actually happen because
against some decks.
Yeah, but it generally didn't happen as often. It's like. Yeah, you used it more in the mid game.
That was a fun card.
Rip.
Warsong Commander, where have you been?
I mean, he had it the previous game too, when he had to kill his own frog into the priest card. But yeah,
All
You want to
right.
play the Acolyte here? I mean, if you're a control warrior, you always play the Acolyte here for sure.
Right.
But I'm not sure.
It does net you some armor.
Mm-hmm.
It's a higher priority target than the Armor Smith.
Yeah, it's very likely that Dog has an answer for Acolyte of Pain, like Poison.
I like the Acolyte. It just stops a turn 4 play from Dog.
Mm-hmm.
There's no turn 4 play that you would make here.
Yeah, it's super awkward. If he actually plays this Acolyte, then he can't really use the rest of his mana efficiently.
Mm-hmm.
So he wastes 2 mana there if he wants to poison that. So I'm not sure if we're gonna see that right now. We might just see the... Oh, there's a backstab as well. It's gonna be useful later on.
I don't really like it either, but he can kill the Acolyte at the price of 2 cards, 2 armor, if he really, really wants to develop the Shredder. That just seems not worth it.
What he could do here is just Deadly Poison and coin the Farseer.
Farseer. A little bit of
He could
tempo.
also just coin out the Shredder. I think that the Shredder is the better play.
It seems the better play from Dog, but
can really
it's
backfire,
it's
though.
really bad for him because of what Life Coach actually has with the
Mhm.
axe. At least in a lot of cases.
well,
Yeah,
if
it-
it drops the 3 attack minion, right?
Yeah,
Even then, you know there's like stuff that does 1 damage.
That's true, and he could have Inner Rage to like buff it. You can trade.
Yeah.
Shredder
Wait.
has a lot of backfire potential.
Yeah.
One thing Dog should also consider is like like
I think it's also not wrong to backstab here.
backstab the Acolyte.
Yeah.
How so?
it gives him the immediate answer. Like if he didn't have a weapon before, he definitely has like a super high chance of having it if you backstab the Acolyte.
All
Yeah,
right.
so he's gonna hope for a 2 attack, 2 power minion, or less.
Even if it's 3, it's okay. Just whirlwind it. Oh my
That
god.
is-
Oh, life coach!
That is the second best, I believe. After
Yeah?
Midas Mana Storm. It's
After
better than
Midas.
Succubus because
Yeah.
she has 4
More health.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow, you know what? This is retaliation for life coach talking badly about Totem Golem
Oh,
in its
yeah.
card review. Oh,
To be fair, it did turn out pretty mediocre.
yeah.
That was
I
a read.
yeah.
But I'm sure they'll just draw execute here. It's not a big deal.
So, do you use the Whirlwind here?
Whirlwind, get
I
Inner
think
Rage.
you
Yeah, I think you do.
Whirlwind and Inner Rage or the Execute's fun.
do. In the rage, you can, yeah. You can
Enrage is
do good.
great.
Inner
Enrage is a redraw.
Oh, we're just gonna go ahead and play the Armor Smith here.
Wow,
Okay, he really values that Whirlwind for the Green Patron that he just picked up.
man. That is pretty tight, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's gonna get a lot of health though, if he kills off.
Is health really matter, though? I feel like the board tempo is so important. As long as the health doesn't get out of control.
Well, the health really matters for the rogue. The rogue still has to win.
Yeah,
it couldn't
but-
even beat a 50 health mage.
I don't really think as long as it's reasonable amount of health, it's still gonna be okay.
Yeah.
Well, if you're killing the Acolyte here and you're leaving 2 Armor Smiths on the board, things often get far less reasonable very quickly.
For sure. I think he's probably gonna Blade Flurry here. Backstab 1, poison up, attack the other one, and then Blade Flurry. Seems like the best play. He could even double backstab if he wants to, but I think I prefer saying that. Oh, it's actually not.
No,
just getting rid of the Armor Smiths.
Okay, and then play Farseer.
Poison Farseer, yeah. Healing up the
Yeah, I mean, is that
Totem
really?
Golem.
Do you want to give up your flurry before the patrons come out?
No, that's the thing. You don't really want to do that. But you would gain a lot of damage potentials.
Yeah.
Like, your War Golem would be at 4 health. He couldn't kill it with his War Axe, you know?
Oh, he
No.
heals the totem golem.
Yeah, of course. Cause
Yep.
but
So
now
that
he
way
can
the
still
fire
kill it.
will
Yeah,
work.
exactly.
Slam time. See what he can get
The
off.
slam is pretty nice. You can just get rid of the Totem Golem off the board, and the Armor Smith just gets more armor, plus you cycle. It's really like if you want to develop Death Spite, that's the only other choice, and I don't really think it's that great.
There is a clear here where you don't have to use your Armor Smith, and that's
You have to use Whirlwind though, and he's
Yeah.
been very unwilling to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he can slam the Farseer and then Whirlwind axe the Totem Golem, but if he does that, he ensures that his Armor Smith dies to a dog's weapon anyway,
Mhm.
so it really doesn't offer an advantage.
Yeah, but that removes the weapon so that whenever he uses Green Patron, he might have the Blade Flurry, but not the poison anymore. So it's not a bad bait.
That's a good call.
But he decides to get rid of the totem, going with the snow. Oh, that's interesting.
Okay. Emperor Thorson.
Yeah, that's an alright card. It kind of works with a few others, I heard.
I like this actually. He keeps the Whirlwind for the next turn, and he's probably going to be able to get that totem going off the board to get it with Armorsmith 1 power.
Oh, nice. That is a big draw.
It could have been the best.
It is a big draw.
Yeah.
Another 4.
It gives him some much needed ammo. As long as these don't pick up other spells.
Well, more running. Yeah, it's alright.
Yeah.
Do backstab here to get rid of that.
Backs up the last one, it would seem fairly consistent.
Mm-hmm.
But now he has a spell damage, so maybe no. Because that's a 3 damage hit, right?
Yeah. Next turn he can backstab SI and stuff. So he's got some good plays.
Yeah, he likes the flexibility, it seems.
Not to mention that you're anticipating Thorson coming out, so backstab with Thanos and SI is the perfect removal spot.
And you get to keep your weapon, which is really important for the anytime Blade Flurry if patrons ever decide to get in here.
Yeah, so what do you do here really? Do you slam the Emperor, or do you equip the Death Spite and deal with the threats first? I mean, you know for a fact that, it's very, very likely that the rogue player has the Blade Flurry after using the sprint there, right?
The role player.
The rogue player, yeah. The rogue player.
Has the Blade Flurry.
But it just hits so many nice cards.
So you don't...
Do you expect to be winning as the warrior from this point in the game unless you combo off? Well, I think it's just fine. Like, it's bad, but it's not going to get better.
Yeah, I mean, you have 3 combo cards in your hand, so it's pretty good.
Dude, Dog is so stressed.
Yeah.
He's like blowing his hair every 2 minutes. Oh, Life Coach
is thinking about next turn.
It's all those inner rage plays.
Yeah,
I was like, oh damn, he has inner rage. No, wait, of course he doesn't.
If I was Life Coach, I'd be like yelling after each play, try to intimidate my opponent. Just scream, 9!
9, 9, 9. So that's pretty good Blade Flurry.
Is it?
I mean, you still don't.
You don't need a Blade Flurry.
What? Why do you want a Blade Flurry so bad?
You can just fan to clear.
Yeah.
You get like the oil on as well on the minion.
Mm-hmm.
Like if they don't have the removal, pretty good.
It's true.
But yeah, it's not really needed.
Because he has oil, he can always go for Flurry. So he hypothetically could get away with Prep Sprint as well this turn. But
Prep Sprint?
Yeah, like he could Flurry here and Prep Sprint, but like I don't think he
Is he thinking about maybe Thalnos, backstab SI on the Emperor, and just go face again? No, he's gonna go ahead and, yeah. Fan of Knives.
So he's just gonna SI and then clear?
Yeah.
That's reasonable. I think as long as you get these mid-sized minions, so that way the oil can land on them, it's pretty huge.
Yeah, he didn't want Thalnos on the board for Green Patrons, so it's understandable.
Wow, no respect to the armor. Oh, never mind. Plenty of respect. He wanted me to face to face.
Yeah. Doesn't die to Whirlwind now, which is very, very good.
Mm-hmm. He knows that his opponent could have the Grim Patron combination, but everything on board is strong against
he's prepared for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're most likely gonna
really
just see a Death Sprite here, though, setting up for a really good Grim Patron board.
The main thing I fear is Dog's like, okay, well, I'm dead to exactly like Frothing, and then Ghoul, and then Whirlwind.
Yeah, I mean, that's what you started thinking about, like all the possibilities of what you die to.
Oh, actually, yeah. He's actually calculating how much damage if he goes face with the Death Sprite here. That's 8 damage from the Death Sprite. It's down to 15, and then it's gonna get, I believe, 4 Grim Patrons.
So 12.
Yeah, so that's very, very close. But I don't think it's a risk you're willing to take when you know that your opponent plays Healbot as well. That could really backfire.
Sometimes even 2.
Yeah.
I mean, Dog could probably be only playing 1, but he is one of those guys who.
Yeah,
is
he's
okay
with
with
3-3.
playing,
Of course, a safer play.
Yeah.
Oh, the Acolyte.
He just wants to draw cards. I think if he gets another like Whirlwind or an Inner Rage, he does amplify his damage a pretty considerable amount.
Ooh, execute on that. Interesting.
No oil targets. It makes sense.
Yep. Keep clearing those minions.
All right.
So he needs. Oh, that's.
Not bad draw. But the problem is that his opponent already has a Death Spite that's set up, so you're asking for trouble.
Exactly. Too bad he doesn't have any more backstabs anymore to remove that Acolyte. Do you sap the Acolyte?
Oh god.
It's not bad.
What if you
it's
just
actually kind of
sprint?
not bad.
If you sprint, you overdraw by 1.
Because you know that the combo, if they had the Green Patron and the War Song, costs 6. And then he can't play the Acolyte on the same turn as that combo if he saps it now.
Yeah, it's true.
They're not allowed.
Dog's not happy.
I mean, you never want to sap like Warsong Commander. You never want to sap Green Patrons. You know, really.
Yeah.
So, and you don't want to sap an Emperor either.
Can you set up a weapon and sprint here?
You could, yeah. But I guess you want to force him to use his weapon. If he doesn't have those Green Patrons in his hand right now, you want to force him to use that Death Spite, even if it means your Violet Teacher.
Yeah, I like that philosophy. Oh.
He's gonna kill the Acolyte, it seems.
Okay.
Alright, deny the card draw. That's
A
fine.
very basic play.
Yeah, and sometimes it's the best play.
Oh, in a rage!
There we go, but that's scary, right? You know your opponent has up
That,
for...
what is that? That's lethal, right?
See.
No, he didn't attack face last
18,
turn.
6 patrons? Yeah.
Yeah,
that's lethal.
it is lethal. Oh, you're right.
Oh, actually...
Because of the whirlwind effect.
Oh, yeah, he has
Oh,
double.
like Coach is realizing it right now. He's like, oh.
Yeah.
He's like, let's go, just in case.
Yeah.
That rope might get me
he
again.
has the Death Spite follow up hits anyways.
I was so excited.
And I think
This
he
is gonna be
realized-
game. This is the 6th point that they need.
And that means Nihilum's gonna go to the grand finals and challenge Cloud9 for the Season 1 championships.
Dog is not very amused right now.
No,
but-
that's a very long journey for Value Town, but Nihilum goes through the gauntlet. They actually...
Well, the longest journey has actually been Nihilum.
They've been playing for so long. They played since the beginning of today. It's actually coming out to hour 9 and they're going to the grand finals.
Life coach immediately start talking about the game.
Yeah,
Dog is like, yeah, let me just go.
Where's the alcohol? Where's the poker table? Later, dude.
Time to start drinking.
A pretty good payday for Value Town. A great showing, despite the fact that they're not an established franchise at all. But congratulations to Nihilum. They move on. And, I mean, if you look at just the power level of their roster, it doesn't surprise anybody to say that they're top 2 in the league.
And Cloud9 gets their wish. They really wanted to play Nihilum. They had never played against them since the qualifier stage. And they wanted the victory, and honestly, I think they wanted the slight advantage that they've seen the deck play so many times, and they're probably very fatigued by this point.
Yeah, because Cloud9's decks are still unknown for the other teams,
that's
so
right.
they have a pretty big advantage coming into this series, though. So it's not going to be easy for Nihilum at all.
For sure. All right.
All right.
Well,
Let's
we
get
have
the
live
2
question
dudes
ties.
here on the casting bench and see what they have to say before we get into the finals.
Thanks, Fortune, for stopping by.
Thank you.
Hey guys, welcome.
Oh,
Oh man, life coach again and again. So much pressure.
so much pressure.
Now we can see the intensity. Are you showing off? Is it fake intensity, or are you just like panicking all the time when you're playing Hearthstone?
Yeah, probably the last.
Okay. Well, you guys certainly made it to the finals. The big concern, the reason why Cloud9 I think primarily wanted you guys is you guys have been playing this whole day. Do you think the fatigue will impact the quality of play? You think the odds are maybe a little bit diminished because of so many games and so much anxiety today?
Well, I have to say it is it's pretty exhausting playing already. Yesterday we had a lot of matches today. It's already from the morning until now, so it's probably a bit exhausting. But we're just gonna do our best. We still feel pretty well. I think we still play. After so many hours playing, we still feel pretty nice.
Well, you guys have secured 60K for the team, and a lot more is possible if you guys take out Cloud9 in the grand final that's coming up. A lot of games, a lot of weeks to get here, and it's going to be all on this. Should be pretty exciting. Hope you guys got it. How do you guys think your third teammate RDU is holding up? Because he's also been playing this long hours, and he's playing from his home, from Romania, which is like 8-hour time difference. Like, he's ready to go to sleep, I'd imagine.
Does he know yet? Like, does he know we won?
I don't think he knows it yet.
I
but,
think he doesn't know it yet.
No, he already changed his sleep schedule also together with us to be really prepared for this tournament, same as yesterday. So, no, he's doing really well, and Yeah.
All right, best of luck, guys. We'll be back after 6 minutes, 15 minutes
30.
to get into the grand final. It's going to be Nihilum versus Cloud9. Match to see. Don't miss it.